All right, welcome to the Mailman Podcast. I'm your host, Dick Colin, and I know there's a lot of craziness going on. You know, shit's on fire. People are looting. Sounds like the '90s, if y'all remember that. And anybody that remembers that time and has gone through their own kinds of stuff, it's distraction, right? Turn off the news. Shut it all off. You got other shit you need to worry about. That's what the Mailman Podcast is all about, right? When you get back to doing what men do, looking at hot ladies, right? Focus up. Let's go. Tucker!
Mailman Podcast coming to you. Men coming to you. Talking about Minister Bonnie and if you don't like it, you can go to hell. Mailman Podcast coming to you. Men coming to you. Ooh.
All right, and today I got myself a guest, and you are on the air. Can you say something? Make sure.
Bogey one.
Burrito coming in hot, Bogey coming in hot.
I got a bogey.
All right, yeah. So y'all might know the Bogey, and we're gonna update that picture because you're on here so much. You're gonna have to send me a basically that picture you got. That I can see, yeah. But with the full top, you know, got to get the head in there if you got it.
I'm not sure. It may have been crop low.
We'll put a little top hat on you,
Yeah, just put that
yeah,
on.
I'll get you a monocle. That'll be easy enough.
Yeah, I can take care of that.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, you got so send me that picture, and then I'll set that up for before next time.
Cool.
Yeah, but before we get into some topics, because you got some news, some exciting news, well, things that you're thinking of news, I should say. Unless that's changed since last time we talked.
Oh, I don't. Which topic are we talking about?
Oh yeah, we'll get into the crotch rockets. But
motorcycle,
yeah.
But there's other news.
Yeah. But speaking of news, one, just to kind of like feed off of the craziness that's going on. One of the things that I'm an advocate for now is like just completely cutting yourself off from the news. You know, basically, and depending on where you're at. The extent could be even like your friends' news, like Facebook, for example.
Yeah.
And because basically, if you got shit you got to fix and work on, then you can't deal with the rest of the world's shit. So yeah, and it's like it's just distraction. Like you get I don't know. I guess you get dopamine. I never felt good watching the news like ever, you know. Except for maybe back in the 80s, like.
Fear-based.
The 80s might have felt a little bit better. Maybe the 90s. I'm not.
Yeah.
Like I remember being happier watching TV back then.
Yeah, because you were watching like Full House.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, MacGyver and
yeah. Oh, you're
Knight Rider.
Soup.
Oh, Talk Soup. Yeah. What the fuck was his name?
That was your favorite.
Dude.
It seemed like it.
Dude, yeah, it was when it first came out. It was pretty goddamn funny. Talk Soup.
MTV actually played music back then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So I did take your advice. I heard your intro.
Oh yeah.
And you say don't watch the news. Well, I've been not watching the news, so I didn't even know there was an LA riot until you mentioned it.
Well, it's like you know, your YouTube is it will deceive you sometimes. So it took me a long man. I want to say the first time I did it, it took like 6 months for me to just say, "Don't show me again. Don't recommend this channel," to everything that came up there, and before it finally stopped showing me anything news related.
Yeah.
And it still creeps in there. Like it's just like it's attached somehow to something that I watched. So I watch like these space things a lot, and it's you know, and that's kind of news, right? But it's
space.
Yeah, so it's like what are
rocket.
new discoveries and things in science and stuff. And because of that, like I'll start getting all these like Sky News. It's like the world's on fire, but it's like, Jesus Christ, man. Like it's like one thing that I watched that's relatively close to being considered like normal news. So yeah, it took me a long time to like, I had to like mentally force myself to do that. And once I did, like, man, I felt so good. I don't know how you feel, but like since then, do you notice a difference?
Well, I sort of, I did this years ago.
Yeah.
Stopped watching the news. Probably this was before. I don't know. I here's what I want to say. Like, I didn't really watch the news. I noticed that my parents would watch the news sometimes, but for me, it just never seemed like anything that was important. So I don't really really watch it. And when I was overseas, I had to watch the news to keep up with current events, right? So then I started noticing, after not watching the news for like 10 or 15 years, alleged current events. It was I was like, what is this garbage? This is retarded. They're picking on every president. Like this is not how we should be behaving. It just seemed like there's a lot of stuff wrong with it. So then back to not watching the news. Of course, COVID comes along. Right at the tail end of my deployment. And then I start watching some of that stuff, and I'm like, this is absolutely ridiculous. How do these people believe in this? This is crazy. Nobody's thinking for themselves, etc. So then I'm like, back to not watching the news. So I haven't really watched it since.
Well, it's like I kind of live by the well, now I do. It's like, if it's important enough, I already know about it, right? It's already in my wheel. Like,
it's already affecting your life.
And so I'm dealing with it already. And then if the other thing would be, if I don't know about it, then somebody's going to tell me. Like, I'm going to walk down the street, talk to some random person, they're going to say it, or I'm going to overhear it as I go to the store, or my friends are going to, text me or call me or something like that and say, oh my God, dude, are you all right? And it's like, there's a tornado that went by. I was like, really? I didn't even know. It's like those kinds of things, right? It was like when the earthquakes when I was in Japan, right? I'm like, I didn't even know that happened. It's like I'm like, thousands of miles away. So
I don't know if I thought I saw something about earthquakes, and I texted you. I was like, hey man, are you okay? And you're like, yeah, what do you mean?
Exactly.
I'm fine.
Well, the other thing too is, like, when you live in a place that consistently has earthquakes, it's just like a normal thing. So like, but I was just kind of thinking about that, because you can't avoid it sometimes. Like, it just, if you're online essentially,
on the line.
But the thing that you can do is just take it out of the screen. You can delete it or whatever. You don't have to look at it, and that's the hard part, I think, is not like, especially because it's always like the headline and all that stuff, making it shocking. But it's I was thinking about this before I came on the podcast, was it doesn't matter, whatever the situation is, it's especially in I'd say 90% of the stuff that's on the news, it's like, when everybody is right, then we're all fucked. You know what I mean? Like, because there's it's when things are so complicated that you can't really have a wrong answer. Like, that's when shit gets crazy. And then there's no, like, we're definitely, we're not going to agree on anything, so therefore there's nobody's wrong, nobody's right, and it's a problem. But when you think about something like, it's because somebody could argue like oh, like, isn't that everything? It's like, no, it's not, because case in point, I think we could all agree that you should not masturbate in public.
Well, hold on now.
Well, and there might be that guy out there, but that gguy's crazy. That guy's fucking crazy
when it's necessary. Like on public buses.
But you never see the back and forth on a news story like that. It's just like, man, that guy pulled his junk out and just started whacking it. It's like, it's crazy. It's like, oh, the children do not rejoice today, right? It's like there's never any, like, there's no like CNN versus Fox News about that story. They're all going to be on the same page. Right? So it's like, yeah, it's just one of those things. Like when they're not on the same page, like that's, you gotta stay away from that kind of news, man. Like,
Well, there's a lot of problems and
yeah.
never a solution that actually works
Mhm.
if they do. And then another thing I noticed is they don't ever really talk about it
Yeah, yeah.
in a common sense way.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
it's like,
don't seem to. I don't know. It's not. There's no critical thinking. It seems like.
yeah, it's like, you know, it's like, what do you say? You're talking a lot, but you're not saying anything.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But you know, we got Mr. pH balance over here. The the world rule should be don't be a dick. Being a Richard is okay though. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
You'd be a long dick, right? Because Dick
Richard Long.
because Dick only has 4 letters and Richard has more. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Oh,
Richard
dang.
has 5.
Yeah, is it? I
I'm
don't
just
know.
kidding. No.
I'm not good at counting.
I'm not good at math.
Yeah.
There's quick math.
I don't know. What do you prefer, math or maths? I think maths is more fun to say, but it sounds stupid.
Yeah, but it's what I think it's what they say in the UK, right?
Yeah,
Just
but
maths.
that's not a real place.
Plural maths. Well,
This is
my brother just got back from
Harry
there.
Potter land.
He actually went to-
Allegedly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I saw it on social media, so it must be true.
Yeah, flat Earth, man, flat Earth.
Exactly.
It doesn't exist. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that'd be a good thing to start with, is talking about this like ridiculous, like yeah, you know, yeah, this shit's happening. I get it. You know, people are more than likely getting hurt. That sucks, but yeah, I can't do anything about it. And I've got my own shit that I'm trying to work out that I need to do and I need to focus on. So I can't be wasting my time with that kind of shit. So, you know, that's my advice to people that are, if you're in a dark place, I guarantee you that the second you cut out the news, the very next day you will already feel better. Like 100%.
Well, something to consider. And I'm sure I'm not the first one to think about it like this, but remember how you said in a previous podcast to start writing down all the activities you do throughout the day?
Yep. Masturbating
So
twice.
you can track, tracking your, you know, all your activities. Well, if you think of that in the, I'd say, what you focus on mentally, like the type of things you think about, whether it's positive or negative, if you were to track that every day, like get down to that area where, like, when you're, so again, back to awareness, like the first step is,
Yep.
you might not really think about it, but you're like, oh, I watched the news. Now, how do I feel after that?
Yep.
Or what am I thinking? Positive, negative? You know, maybe what emotion am I feeling? And then if you were to go throughout the day, say, oh, I had breakfast, or I went to a coffee shop, I ran into an old friend. How do I feel? Oh, I feel happy. I feel positive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, am I thinking about the friend or and the interaction that was good, positive, or am I thinking about the news and worrying about, you know, what's going to happen in LA or whatever? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
But if you were to track that throughout the day and the week, you might start to see a pattern of maybe possibly a negative thought process. So
Yeah.
it's good to be aware of what you're thinking about. And the reason why I say that, to go back to your news thing, is once you cut out the news, now you're not really thinking about it unless you get a little bit of withdrawal from the fear of missing out on whatever. But truthfully, if you focus on your own life and your priorities, if you even have priorities, then yeah, the news is not going to be one of them, because it doesn't get you where you want to go. At the end of the day, if you want to improve yourself, if you want to make more money, if you want to do whatever you want to do, you want to learn something, most of the time it's not going to involve watching the news on prime time, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's like, is it even news by that time it hits there? It's like technically already
news.
It's already gone.
What technically is news? Yeah. Because it's already, I mean, if you're watching it at 11, I mean, it may have happened that day, but most likely it could be ongoing stories from the week before.
Yeah.
And then two is to consider, because a lot of people don't think this way, but if you're a critical thinker and you're an analyst, you are going to think of the news as them excuse me, as them choosing the stories to put out.
Yep.
And then you might think of, well, why, how does the news operate? How do they get funding? How do they get ratings? Why would they pick certain stories? If you start tracking the news and see what sort of stories are put out that you're watching and what you're reacting to. It's like, well, then you might start to see a pattern there.
Well, I'm going to put something up here that I think the moral of the story is you need to, stop the news and get back to hot ladies.
Hot ladies, yeah.
Woo bam.
Boom. All right, so who is this?
I don't know. This is AI picture. I typed in hot ladies in yoga riot gear.
Yoga, oh yeah. Yep.
The Lululemon.com.
Dog.
Sponsor me. Oh, we got another chat here. I did that like 10 years ago. I never know what's going on outside of homework. Wait, home and work. Sorry.
Yeah. So why is it that you would necessarily need to know what's going on? Well, and I'm just thinking out loud. Like, why is it important to hear about the news unless it directly affects you and your life and maybe your family?
Well, it's not, because if it does directly affect you, you're going to find out about it. So,
yeah, well, because like I mean, this is going to sound terrible, but who cares about the war in Ukraine?
Well,
you might ask.
Apparently nobody, because they don't talk about it anymore.
Well, they're not talking about it anymore. It was hot for a couple of years, but that was a necessary talking point.
Yeah.
And you also may see the amount of money, effort, equipment that went over there.
Well, I didn't see it. I'm assuming they gave away a bunch of stuff.
I think the federal budget sees it. But again, ultimately, it doesn't really affect your life. I mean, you're going to pay taxes. You're going to go to work. You're going to go home. You're going to pay taxes. Yep. You're going to support your family. You're going to spend time with your friends. And if the deficit is at zero or at trillions of dollars, who cares, right? What does it really matter? Because you're still going to go to work next week,
yep,
and tomorrow and next month and next year until you retire. And then guess what? When you retire, you're not going to go to work, but you're going to collect your pension or your retirement or whatever. You're going to go to play shuffleboard with your friends in the villages. And
have sloppy sex with every woman that lives there.
Oh yeah, because there will be no rules at that point.
Well, yeah, I mean,
we're all gonna die.
But your sperm ain't swimming so well, so it don't matter.
Yeah, it's not like they can get pregnant in menopause.
I mean, maybe, but
well,
here's the hoping. No more kids.
Shot, I guess. Yeah, I wonder how many geriatric, and I think geriatric means you're over 32 or 34. Nowadays, like geriatric is considered in the mid 30s or something.
Jeez.
Definitely 40. Over 40, you're probably not expected to have children on average.
Damn.
However, my mom had my brother at 42.
Damn. Well, what's his name? Didn't Al Pacino have a kid at like 70 something?
Well, he probably can. His wife wasn't 70, was she?
No, she's got to be like super young, probably. So
yeah.
Well, speaking of lifestyles and
got it. I got it.
Somebody is considering a lifestyle change here, or update, or whatever, upgrade. What would you call that?
I would say an addition.
Yeah, there we go. Okay,
just a new toy.
Yep. So, all right. So you had a pretty clear idea of one in particular. Last time we talked, but has that changed?
No.
All right. So on
Still looking
that,
at the same
all right.
type of bike.
So remind me which one that is. So that's the Ducati.
Okay, so
Which one specifically?
the Ducati Hyper Motard 950 SP.
950 SP. There we go.
SP, yeah. So
SP.
you can look up a picture of that.
There we go. I'm gonna pull that up.
Yeah,
All right.
so I was looking for one that was used, low mileage, maybe has the modifications that I want, kind of like the other bike that I found.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with this one that's on the track. That looks cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Damn it.
So I was looking through Cycle Trader and I found one in Ohio, which is not too far.
Ohio.
And Ohio gozaimasu.
Oop, that's the wrong one. Here we go.
Oh wait, it's gozai. How do you say it?
Ohio gozaimasu. And depending on where you are in the country, Ohio gozaimasu. Maybe. All right, and that's what we're looking at there. Boom. All right. Let me move this over a tad
There
so it's more in the center there.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. It is a pretty cool looking bike though. Like it's you remember when we were playing like Road Rash? It reminds me of like the rat bike. But like just because it doesn't have all the fairings on there.
Oh, the rat bike, yeah.
But it's
those bikes were all sports bikes probably.
Yeah. So okay, so tell me, all right, let's go from nothing in your brain about this to now. So how did this come to be?
How did it come to be? Well, so I ride and have only ridden sports bikes my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought about really going off road, getting the adventure bike, getting a dirt bike and racing like dirt track or anything like that. I never rode dirt bikes back in the day, maybe a couple of them, but I never had one.
Mm-hmm.
I always rode a friend's or
Matt had that one.
We all had access to one.
Yeah, and I friggin' I didn't know your brothers had dug a giant ditch in the brush.
My dad had dug that.
Oh,
with the backhoe because we were burying all of the garbage from that orange grove.
Okay.
So he dug like a 4-foot hole with a backhoe, and you like were just riding along.
Didn't know it was there. Just
didn't see it.
Right in that motherfucker.
Straight into a hole, like a 4-foot drop. It must have been something like that.
Well, luckily, like because of like it wasn't like a long ditch, you know, it was like just a hole. So the wheel hit the inside wall, and I just kind of like skid across the ground. So there wasn't any like landing. It was just like I was kind of like just flat across the ground.
You were already there.
But it was just like, what the fuck, man? And we're like, oh yeah, there's a hole there.
We were on the other side of the property. We were probably like 2 acres away, and we just saw you disappear. We're like, where did he go? When you're on the horizon, you just dropped out of sight.
Jesus Christ. All right, we got something here before we continue. From PH Balance, motorcycles, motard. Seriously, called a motard? Yep, that's right. It's called
the Hypermoto. Yeah, I don't know why they call it like hyper retard or whatever.
Well, you know, it is.
That's the first thing I think of.
It is visually less than the standard bike, so you know maybe it's got it's a little challenged.
I already have the cool looking bike.
Yeah.
So now I can go for the retarded looking bike.
Yeah.
So back to the story. So long story short, I have a friend who's been trying to get me to ride off road, gravel roads and single track and do like some more adventure style riding. And he has an adventure bike. He has the Yamaha, what is it? Tenere. Yeah, he has a Tenere, and he also has this KTM 500 that's like a dirt bike.
I know that one. I don't know the Tenere though.
Yeah, so the KTM's like a big dirt bike. Anyway, so he's like, hey, if you want to go off road this weekend, he's like, you can borrow my KTM 500. And I said, okay, cool. I'll try it first time. I don't think I'll like it or whatever. But the byproduct of that was me realizing that I was like, oh, what if you made a dirt bike for the street, basically? And then, of course, I've already looked into this in the past, and my brother has before he got his adventure bike.
Hmm.
And I was like, well, the hypermotos and supermotos have always seemed pretty cool. To me, it just looks like a dirt bike with street tires, but the suspension's a little stiffer, so it's
Hmm.
almost like a if a sports bike and a dirt bike had a child, it would be this hypermoto because the suspension, it's tall like a dirt bike, but the suspension is stiffer, a little
Yeah.
stiffer like a sports bike. It has street tires and wheels and stuff. And it's in this case it's a 950, so it's a little more powerful. So it's not going to be a slouch on the road. It's not going to be too slow, and it still has a little over 100 horsepower, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like half of what my other bike has.
Okay.
So I don't
Well,
use the full potential
deal breaker
of the other
name,
bike
by
anyway.
the way. That's the
What's that?
pH balance, a deal breaker name.
Deal breaker.
What kind of bike you got? That's a motard. Oh, retard.
It's a retard. Hyper retard, you say?
Well, isn't there is a part though, the retard what the fuck is that thing called?
Oh, a timing retard.
Yeah, timing retard. Yeah.
Timing. Well, yeah. There's like you can. I mean, it's an action that you can take too.
Yeah.
You can retard the timing, which is positive or negative. And if you were worked on a motor, you know what that is. Otherwise, you're probably like, what are these people talking about?
They're talking about retards.
Yeah, as the motor spins, usually detonation happens slightly after the piston reaches top dead center. So as the piston starts to drop back down in the power stroke, that's when you want your fuel and everything to ignite. Is typically around there for maximum power. Anyway, that's what timing is called. So that the several degrees of plus or minus, you can either make more or less power.
Yeah, well, if I completely understand that logic because without proper power stroking, you get retarded babies.
That's right. That's
So,
right. Yeah.
You gotta be careful.
The right stroke equals no retard. Baby.
Yeah.
So
the motards, the better.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which is like the opposite of what you want. So you want less tards. But in this case, it's if you're riding it, maybe you're more tarded than most people.
You're more tarded. Oh man, yeah. Well, the good thing is that the bike doesn't actually look retarded. So.
Well, I think yeah, you kind of have to see it in person, and then you have to ride it. So this is what's happening. So this weekend. So this is how I ended up thinking about what would it be like to have that type of bike. And every review I've watched on it, everybody seems to love the bike. They're like, "Oh, it's so much fun. It's easy to take turns. It wheelies like easy, super easy, whatever." So I was like, "Well, shoot, man, maybe I try out this bike." So I was looking for one. Remember, I was telling you the other day, I was looking for one that wasn't too expensive. I didn't want to buy a brand new one and spend like $20,000 on it.
Yep.
But I could find
which is crazy. Yeah.
So I found one that's a 2024, and it has like 1,000 miles on it. So it's, I don't know.
What's 2024 with 1,000 miles. So they were doing some riding.
And they want
on that.
Well, but they only rode 500 miles a year, which is not a lot.
Yeah, but when
24 and it's 25 now.
When I consider like a lot of people don't like ride it every weekend like you do. Like to me that's
I don't even ride every weekend, but yeah, right. And this guy, whoever had it before, some guy lived in Ohio.
Yeah.
He I guess he only rode it 1,000 miles.
Yeah. But because 2024 would be technically 23, right? So okay.
Well, it was sold in September of 24. So
okay.
I found out that because I asked about the warranty. So it has a warranty, has factory warranty still for another year and a half or a little over a year.
Okay, that's pretty good.
September 26th. I already put a deposit on it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah. And I scheduled a test ride for this weekend.
Wait. So is it? So you were gonna? What were you gonna try to get it for though?
So the price, I think they have it listed for $16,000, $15,900, something like that.
Okay.
And it has a couple mods. Like it doesn't have anything crazy, but it has like a rock guard for the oil cooler and frame sliders and I don't know, a couple other things. Nothing crazy.
Okay.
So it's pretty much, and the guy sent me pictures of it. It looks really clean. But anyway, I'm gonna go see it in person. It's not too far away. I'm already going to Pittsburgh anyway, so
Okay.
I'll just drive up there an extra hour and check out the bike, go for a test ride, and then I have a deposit on it. If I like it, then I can buy it. If not, then I may maybe say, hey, that's not for me.
Yeah. Cool.
So
Cool.
anyway, that's the story. So yeah, it just happened after we talked the other day. I just happened to look again the other morning on Cycle Trader, and I was scrolling through, and I was like, well, let me check out some other bikes and see. And it happened to be, it's like one of the cheapest bikes for 24.
Okay.
You know, so you could get the other one I was looking at was 23, and it's actually listed as more expensive.
Dang. How many miles is on that one?
Like 20 some miles. It's new.
Oh, that's the
it's the demo ride.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's not
seeing it in person. Well, the one I tried to ride it. They couldn't even start it because the battery was dead.
dang.
And it looked like it had sat outside for like months or something. Because it had that sun faded look on one of the plastic pieces.
Oh yeah, and you can't. There's
okay. So I don't know what the true story is with this bike, but it just doesn't look new. And I want something obviously that looks new. You know, my other bike looks new. It's old, but it looks new because it's, garage kept. I don't ride in the rain. That sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, looking at these, are those the stock? I mean, this is because it's on a racetrack, so I don't know. But is that are the rims like that? Like, is that because those rims look badass? Because it's only on one side there. It looks like. Yeah. And then you have the caliper on. So it's basically just the caliper and the chain on one side, and then the.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the same setup as my street bike.
Okay.
Single-sided swing arm.
Yep. Okay.
It has the same style wheels, so I have those same wheels on my street bike.
Okay.
Because it's like continuing with the Ducati.
Yeah.
Aesthetic, right? Now the difference is the motor. So my motor on my bike is an L twin.
Your motard
bike. No, well, on the street bike, on the sports bike. Sorry, the super bike, the 1299.
Yeah.
It has an L twin, but it
Dick
has
Slang
a motor. This bike has an L twin too, so it sounds a lot like my bike, but it has a Testostretta motor. So I guess there's some difference in the motor design or function. I have to look it up.
Okay.
So it's not the exact same motor that's in my bike, just detuned. It's a different style motor.
Okay.
It's still 950 and it's still 105 horsepower or something. So it's still not bad. And actually, so here's what I figure is I rode the KTM 500 and I was like, that's not actually that bad on the street. And I was able to pass cars and go fast enough, I think I got it up to like 90. For a dirt bike, that's fast.
Yeah, right.
Because
the kind of handling that thing has. Yeah, I was gonna say Jesus Christ.
It's a wobble at speed. You gotta be careful. If you're over 60 or 70, it starts wobbling. But
it's like you're like on the street. There's no reason for it to wobble, but like you're in the dirt. You do need that flexibility. But it's the last thing you want on the street.
Oh yeah, the death wobble, like the Jeeps. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I know so far.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. That's exciting. Is it the same look as this one? Like that? Is that the red and white scheme that it has?
Yeah, it's the exact same.
Nice. Yeah.
That's the SP version.
Okay.
The regular one is it's just all red.
Yeah, it's interesting because I actually really like how it's from the back end. It's like an old 90s bike looking thing.
Yeah.
And then on the front end, it looks like it reminds me of like the early 2000s when they started getting those really sharp looks to everything, but they hadn't quite figured it out yet,
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know.
It's really interesting looking.
A dirt bike for the street,
Well, yeah, definitely looks like
suspension than the street bike, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to be because I actually rode today to work. I rode my sports bike.
Yeah,
and after riding the dirt bike from the other weekend, it's like way hard, stiff ride, and I could see why the guys
so hard and so stiff.
Yeah, yes, exactly. That's what.
Yeah.
So the guys that ride that ride any other style bike, and here I guess this is how I get why they say that.
Yeah.
Because they're coming from a comfortable bike
Oh
with
yeah.
a soft
Yeah.
suspension, upright riding position. The handlebars are high. The seat's big and comfy.
Yeah.
You know, they can swing a leg over not too hard. They don't have to lean. Well, I've only ridden sports bikes. As
Yeah.
far as I know, you have only ridden sports
Yeah.
bikes, right? So you're
Well,
gonna get
I
on a
had
sports
I
bike
had that one
and be
time
okay.
where I was on what was that, Shuts bike? That was more of a
yeah. His is a little more of that,
yeah.
like sport touring.
Yeah. But that's
He had
that's
the
as,
SV.
yeah, that's as far as I went from sport bike.
Is
No,
that
no,
as
no.
far
You know what? I am lying. When I did when I got my license, my motorcycle license,
Yeah.
after I'd already bought the bike, because apparently you can do that. You can ride off the lot with the bike without a license. And
Really? I didn't know that.
I mean, I did it, and I signed all the paperwork, everything. I drove that bike to the license place to do, because you had to do the course or whatever.
Yeah.
So I drove that bike to the course, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like,
You're like, what do you mean?
yeah, I'm like, "I'm good. Like, give me the bike, let's go." And then I got on that little like 250. Maybe it was a 250, but it was like a tiny. It was like a tiny Harley looking thing.
It was probably a 125
Yeah.
or 250. Yeah.
I think it was a 250, but it was so awkward because you know, remember like we were doing those mini bikes back in the day.
Yeah.
It was like, it almost felt like that, but like a little taller. And so like when we're doing like the little figure eights and stuff, it had so much room on the handlebars. I was like, oh, this is great. Like, just like it felt like a you know. Yeah.
Yep.
And then it's like,
top.
and then I get on the 750 after that, and I'm like, holy shit, this is so much better. But so that's the most I've done non crotch rocket is probably that thing, and it's not even I couldn't even compare it to like a Harley or something.
Yeah. Well, you're used so that's why these guys say that is because I never knew why. Of course, I only rode sports bikes, so it's always been uncomfortable. I just didn't know. I just
didn't know it could be comfortable.
I just didn't know it was uncomfortable because I just thought that's the way it was.
Yeah.
And that's true because it is. That's how sports bikes are.
Yeah. Well, they're meant to be taking turns. That's why.
Well, I don't think it's uncomfortable.
I think it's only uncomfortable if you're going straight for a really fucking long time. Like, and it's if you're taking turns and stuff, it's not really that uncomfortable.
But when you're on the racetrack, it's great because it's a purpose-built bike.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going off road or you got bumpy roads or something, that's the only time where I noticed my sports bike is like it doesn't handle a lot of bumps too well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just rode home on a shit ton of potholes. This exit near my house is really bad, and I rode over that, and I adjusted my suspension last weekend. I tweaked it a little bit. It's a lot better.
I just remember
because as the temperature,
Yeah, go ahead.
As the temperature warms up here, I had the suspension set for November of last year. Well, it's cooler then, and the oil doesn't get as hot, and it doesn't move as freely.
Yeah.
Well, now that that's the case, it just seemed like I was riding the bike and it was really bouncy. Well, why is that? Oh, that's because I need to tighten down my rebound on my shocks. That's what it was.
Not the retard, the rebound.
Yeah, the rebound. A couple, 2 or 3 clicks, and it smoothed it out.
Nice.
And now I go over bumps, and it's a lot softer. But it's still, it's still a sports bike on the road.
Yeah.
If you get any other bike, you're going to be cruising because you have cushier tires or more soft suspension, or the bike's just more upright. So,
well, this is like that's the interesting thing about a bike is like even with all the electronics and stuff, it's still pretty basic. Like like
you still got 2 wheels.
Yeah.
You got 1 seat.
And then so we got the PH Balance is also asking, has this awesome man ever think of restoring an older bike? What say you, old awesome man?
What am I? Oh, I'm the awesome man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, PH Balance.
Restoring
an old bike. I guess I'd have to think about what sort of bike I'd want to ride. And
suggestions, PH Balance.
Yeah, what type of bike are we talking about? Because
Maybe like an old
there's
Indian
a
would be cool.
there's a brand called Royal Enfield,
Royal
and
Enfield.
they're
Okay,
like
I'm
a
gonna pull that up.
really, it seems to me like a really old style
Royal
bike.
Enfield. There we go.
Royal Enfield, and
Himalayan.
the
Okay, yeah. This rings a bell. Oh, yeah.
and the
This would
dealer,
totally be it right here, dude. Fuck
yeah,
yeah.
that's what type
Fuck
of
yeah.
bike I think PH Balance is talking about for
This
storing something
one
like
right here in particular. Hang on, I'm gonna pull this one up. Um, this one looks dope as hell. Whoever did the work on this. Whoop. And there we go. Whoop. Bam. Look at that baby.
that. Yeah,
Woo, that's a
that'd be
good looking
cool.
bike, man. And plus,
Yep.
how many seats does that have? Only
Just
one.
one.
That's
all you
right.
need. That's right. Because the only thing women do is slow you down,
Yeah.
and complain.
and offset the balance.
Well,
Like, just ride with it. Just go
Yeah.
with the turns. Just go with
The
it.
truth is, they can be fun in the beginning. You find that like women will like to do fun, exciting things in the beginning, and then, through a through a combination of factors,
Mhm.
it becomes like, oh, I already did my hair, or no, don't put the top down, or oh,
It's a motorcycle. The top's always down.
yeah. Well, I'm talking about in a convertible or
Oh, okay.
something like, some women just aren't fun
Yeah.
after a while. They become not fun. Well, you got to get rid of them by that point, or
Yeah.
or you as a man are not doing your part to keep her engaged.
Yeah.
But
It's probably
you
well.
don't
It's
wanna
probably a
fight it
combination
either.
of both.
Yeah. There's absolutely that.
Remember when everyone's right, we're all fucked. Yeah, but this. Yeah, I would totally. I think if I ever got back into motorcycles, I think getting one that doesn't work and just starting from scratch, I think would be the way to go.
That's like a very classic. Like I could see wearing it like some cool pair of boots, some jeans, a
Oh,
leather jacket, and like you just cruise.
I'm wearing this
Sunglasses,
American
helmet.
flag bandana that I've got right here, and
Yeah,
these
exactly.
and these red
Yeah.
sunglasses, bro.
Yeah,
That's what I'm wearing.
That's what you could cruise around in, like back in the day. Yeah, but think about it. We're on a sports bike nowadays. We're
Yeah.
going down the road doing 100 plus miles an hour, risking it every time we go around a turn.
Yeah,
possibly.
yeah.
Well, if you're cruising back in the day, 40, 50 miles an hour, the open road, traffic's not that bad because it's 1955.
Yep.
It's like, is it really gonna be as dangerous? Are you really pushing the limit? Well, maybe not.
Push it to the limit.
Yeah, so I could see not wearing a helmet and gloves and all that stuff because you're just not gonna be, how are you gonna wreck at 40 miles an hour if you're paying attention?
I mean, it'd be like the equivalent of when we wrecked on those mini bikes, I guess.
Wow, we were pushing the limit though. We were pushing it to the limit, Richard.
Oh
Come
yeah,
on.
man. Yeah,
Remember we were doing time trials. We were racing.
Yeah, we were actually.
We were timing each other around the parking lot.
Oh man, I gotta say, man, that shit was so much fun though.
That was
It was
so
so
fun.
much fun. Like, it's the most ridiculous, dumbest, gayest thing ever that actually is fun. Because it was also fun, like fixing them, like when they would break down, and like because it's so easy to work on.
Well, what broke down though? I don't think anything broke down, right?
No, because just like the part, like things would bend, and like you'd have to like.
Oh, yeah, you just
From
grab a
right,
hammer and
yeah, it
tighten
was
up.
like,
Dude, that was
Yeah.
pretty funny.
oh man, and like, because you can take those anywhere. They're so small. You just throw it in the back of
Yeah.
anything.
It's called a pocket bike.
Yeah.
Because
You put it in a backpack. Like you can take your sport bike, put that in the backpack, and then get to where you're going.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish they were more socially acceptable. Because I would love for the streets to just be those.
Yeah. That that could be fun. Have you heard of the Honda Grom?
Honda
Grom. Honda
Grom.
Grom.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Tell me about it, and I'll look
It's
it up here.
it's kind of like a mini bike. They make them in different sizes now. Well, at least from what I've seen. And there's like one or two
Oh,
guys
okay.
in the local sports bike
Oh, I
that
see.
have one.
So it's like scooter size, but it's a motorcycle.
Like, yeah, it's like you'd use it as like a pit bike or like a mini bike to get around, just like to
That's
replace like a
pretty cool looking,
scooter.
actually.
But it's a little sports bike, and they're
Yeah.
usually
Whoa,
like,
this one looks badass.
20 horsepower or something. They're
Yeah.
pretty low, and their max
damn it.
speed might be like 50, 60, 70. But they've gotten this cult following. And they're kind of you can buy one and you can probably sell it for close to what you paid for it, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't looked at them.
Well, let me pull up. This is the coolest looking one that I found so
They're
far.
supposed to be fun.
But boop, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So the little, it's a lot bigger than what we were riding, the pocket bikes, but
Can I zoom in on that?
But that's kind of halfway between a real bike.
Yeah, right.
You can still ride as an adult, and I've seen big people on them, like
yeah,
300-pound dudes.
They've got some pictures. Let me see if I can find a fat dude. Hang on. Anagram.
Yeah. Look
fat dude.
Big man on a little bike or something.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus Christ. Oh, hang on. This is okay. We'll come back to that one, but this one's we gotta start with where the action is. Hang on.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Did it now?
Yeah, going to Tail of Dragon.
Go get my rusty cage and run. God damn, that's a great song. Like that is the all-time motorcycle song.
That's like, so if they were to make another movie about bikes, that's the song they should play.
Dude, oh, like, what?
Remember in Gone in 60 Seconds they play that song?
Oh yeah.
Before they steal cars.
Yeah, well, that's the one they need.
They need to play Rusty Cage before you race your bikes. Before you race your Grom on the Tail of the Dragon.
Here we go. I got this guy. This guy's rocking. He is speaking of taking it to the limit. This guy is putting that suspension to the limit here. Oh man!
Walking on the razor's edge.
Look at this guy.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's living life.
Oh, that's so funny.
Is that for real?
Yeah, that's. I mean, there's definitely people that fat. So.
Yeah, I guess so. But also, I mean, you got to give him points because he has a motorcycle. So.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give. We do get. Look how tiny his feet look.
Yeah. They're normal sized feet. He's just a big dude.
He's just a big dude.
Let's work out.
Oh my god. Hang on, let's see if I can get like a group photo or something.
You know, if you think about it, if you're 600 pounds and you're standing, you're technically lifting an additional 400 pounds.
Talk about a deadlift, huh?
Well, if you get up, yeah, you would be, because your muscles are lifting that weight. You're lifting 600 pounds.
Yeah.
Now, most of those people can't get up because they don't really work out. But if you were to walk or to move, it's like, man, you're technically lifting that much. Your muscles have to support it.
Well, you know, if you.
Oh yeah. That is yeah.
So if you ever want to, speaking of fat people, and you know the weight of it, right? So let me pull, actually that's a good segue. So after this, we'll get into the man versus woman weight differential. And get into Andor. Yeah. All right. So I want to try to pull a clip of this up. So in the meantime, your bike. When are you going to go check that out?
It's Saturday.
Yeah. Right, so it's possible that you're going to be.
You have thousands of people on your podcast, and they're going to Google 2024 hybrid motor with 1,000 miles in Ohio. They're going to be like, "You're going to buy it out from under me." But I already put a deposit on it, so if that means anything to the dealer, then you shouldn't be able to. But
yeah,
we got our first call for Ryan.
Sorry about that.
What was that?
That was
Got our first golf trip?
this commercial that popped up here that I'm gonna try to somehow avoid, but I'm not sure if I can. Let's see. Okay, it's gonna be this. Here we go.
Useless.
All right, so
The only commercials I watch are the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl halftime.
all right, hang on, let me try to turn this down. Yeah, but this is Mikey Musumeci. He's super tiny, and like going up against this guy, giant dude, and this guy is just trying to use his weight for everything.
Yeah. Oh,
And
it's probably crushing him.
yeah, here we go. Wait here. Here's that. Like basically that's all his weight because he's like on his toes there, so he's just pushing all of his weight into Musumeci here.
Yeah.
But Musumeci's he's just flexible. He's all like super ripped, but he's just tiny. And he's like super technical. So doesn't need to use any weight or muscle because he's very technically sound. Look at the size of the tits on that guy. It's crazy.
Bob had bitch tits.
Yeah. Let's see if there's here we go. Yeah. Let's give you an idea here. So look at that. He's trying. So basically, he's trying to get underneath.
He's gonna get him in side control, and just most people can't get out of it, right?
Yeah, because he's a big guy, but Mikey's really fucking good. So really, Mikey's he's gonna try to get underneath him and leverage that, the fulcrum there. So, and it's like most people like that would be death right there, like because he's like folded in half right now, like with like that guy's got to be like 300 pounds. So look, he's just laying there.
What color belt? Sorry, I can't see.
I think they're both black at this point, or brown,
really?
brown maybe.
No way. You're that big and still a brown.
This is early.
How are you that big and do jiu-jitsu? Because it seems like a lot. Like that would be a good workout.
Well, because with you don't have to work as hard when you have that much weight to throw around. If you know enough to stay away from stuff. Like if you.
So okay, so this guy has learned a certain style of fighting.
Yeah.
Because he's big.
Yeah, I mean, if you got the weight, you need to use it, like because but you don't need to use it in a way like you need to use it with like just pressure. You don't want to just be strong, like so if you're a really powerful person, you don't really want to use because that's a lot of energy wasting. When you can, oh look at that, that's brutal, dude. But that's actually not a good position for him to be in, even though so because right here he's using his weight but he's not using his feet, so where he might be however many pounds he like that feels like he could make that feel like triple that weight by getting up on his toes and just pressing down into him. So he's basically just flopping on top of him, and it's just like it's not going to go anywhere at this point, like so he's gonna have to try to do something. But yeah, so you don't want to do that because one, with somebody that's really fucking good, they're gonna take advantage of you not using all your pressure power.
Oh, there he goes. He's making his move. Hopefully. Yeah.
So when you're in, so this is like you're in somebody's guard. So yeah, he can't get his legs all the way around, but he's still technically in the guard.
He can't lock him up.
And that's not a good place to be. Even though it looks like it is a
300-pound man.
Well, no, I mean it's not a good place for the big guy to be. So he's really just being an asshole right now, and Musumeci is just slowly putting himself in position. So, and then eventually, so they get off to the side here. He's got to reset, and then where is this? Here we go. Try to get some more. So he's trying to do the same thing again, but the problem is like. He's not getting any, like he's not getting anywhere. He's just putting weight on, and somebody that's dealt with just pressure because they practice all the time. This is all Mike Musumeci does. He just does jiu-jitsu all day. So like right now he's just thinking about what's the next thing I can do here. And like the crowd's getting pissed off because they're like, "What are you doing, man? You're not like the guy's not gonna tap like from that. You know, you gotta you gotta do something." And
So is he hoping to tire him out? Like, what is the strategy for the big guy?
I mean, that really is it. Like, just outlast
the little guy out.
But even look,
the big guy is not going to have the cardiovascular capacity of the little guy that's ripped and does jiu-jitsu all day.
Well, here's the so he's I'm not. Okay, that's what happened. So the guy got a penalty or something for stalling, probably.
Yeah.
And so Mrs. Mechie wins, and the guy's pissed off
by TKO.
So
about that.
Oh yeah, he like Mrs. Mechie was trying to like shake his hand, and he didn't want to do it.
Wow.
But
you were stalling.
And who's that? Is that Zanje? Maybe. Yeah, look at that. What a douchebag, man. You gotta do stuff, man. You can't just but that's the thing. It's like yeah, you know, it is technically about the win, but it's really a submission sport. You know, it's like we have there's like points and stuff to make it interesting, and like, you know, obviously it is like you know, you want the point system because it could go on forever, you know, with two really good guys. There's matches that are like 2 hours long, you know. Which is insane, dude. I think hour and a half I've seen, like, for sure.
Dude, you would be dead tired.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a constant struggling for an hour and a half.
Yeah. I want to say
your endurance must be through the roof.
Keenan Cornelius might have had one of those that was that long.
That's like a sexual.
I think they take breaks though. Like, it's like they do like stop it, I think. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's too long, but it's definitely a long time. Let me see. Keenan Cornelius. Keenan Cornelius. Long match. Let's see. Let's see if I can. It's with Gordon. No, it's gonna be a short one. Damn it! I know he's got some really long matches. Anyway, yeah, they got some really long matches. Oh, it's an hour and a half. There's a okay, so it's probably about an hour and 20 minutes because of the announcer here. But that's still a long fucking time to be grappling.
Yeah.
So, dang, that's a long fucking time. But yeah,
sure.
Yeah. So, you know, it's you can tire people out, but you know, it's just if you're that big, like there's other stuff that you can do. Like you can. He just it didn't look like he was really. It looked like he was just flapping his weight around and not really using pressure. You know.
Yeah.
So to me, it looks like, you know, he's just stalling the fight because he's not actually using any technique. He's just using his weight. So,
yeah, he's just laying on the guy.
Yeah, because he I've seen some pretty big guys. You know, I've rolled with some pretty big guys that like they're fast, man. Like, and it's like when they get on top of you, it's like a building. You know, it's like you actually might like get to a point where you just can't do anything. Like, it's impossible.
That's how I felt when I went to jiu-jitsu with my brother.
Yeah. And those they're not necessarily big guys, right? Like, so, but when you go up against, you know, a giant man, it's like, and that actually knows how to like pressure pass. Holy shit! Like, you feel like you're gonna explode. Like you're a zit. Yeah.
Not that type of explosion.
Yeah. So we missed okay. So Pat's so PH Balance said, isn't that a scooter?
The
probably talking about the Grom, yeah. And then watch.
Yeah, it's probably, I don't know if it qualifies as a scooter. I think the CCs, the engine might qualify.
Yeah. And then what is this? Watch out for my 2021 genuine Rogue House. Rogue House. What the hell's a Rogue House?
Roadhouse.
What's a Rogue House?
I don't know.
What the hell's a
Who
Rogue
says
House?
that?
I don't know. What is that? What's a Rogue House?
Who's that? I looked at the chat. I don't see anything in the chat. Am I? Oh,
here we go.
yeah. Sorry, I'm not on.
Google.
YouTube.
Rogue House. What the fuck is a Roadhouse? Rogue House.
I don't know.
I know Roadhouse.
Yeah.
What is this? The meaning of Rogue House is violence or rough, boisterous play. How to use Rogue House in a sentence? Okay, let's find out. Or how do you do that?
Rogue.
Is it Rouge? Rouge House?
I don't know. Is this an American bike? I don't know.
No, this is just a word. To engage in rough. Oh, is it Rough House?
You said Rogue House.
Well, he's the way he's spelling it on here, man.
ROUGH.
No, well now I see the ROUGH, but he had like
okay.
Rog
Yeah.
House. He had it as like ROG. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then let me show you. This is why it also threw me off, because the thing that I see when I pull this up is hopefully you'll be able to see this. But this is where my focus went. So I thought maybe it was like a thing. Damn it! The guy on the right. Damn it! All right. Well, I'm just gonna click on his picture.
I'm sorry.
Hang on.
Rogue.
Yeah, Rough House. Jesus
Rogue.
Christ.
Rogue
Oh my
House.
God. Well, that's
Rogue One.
that's comedy.
Rogue.
That's comedy gold right there, and it's a good transition into Rogue One, which is
Rogue One.
attached to Andor,
Which is retarded. Like we just went from a motard to
All right.
a Rogue One, which is the retard.
All right. Well, I can't show you the ridiculous looking dude because I
Rough House.
still can't figure out how to show that. But let's talk about it. You started watching it. Oh wait, before you. Rough House. Jesus, stop! Oh my God, you have to wait for the spelling corrections.
Is that a motorcycle?
No, he was just trying to say Rough House. A genuine Rough House? Is that a motorcycle?
I don't know. I don't think anybody has described the hypermotard as a rough house. But they do say it's a lot of fun. They say it's a hooligan. So I mean, I
better
like
than
wheelie,
a
like back.
better than a motorcycle.
Yeah, we did a lot of wheeling back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Well, the hypermotard is supposed to be like super fun wheelie machine. So I don't really wheelie my bike now, but my street bike. But I think the hypermotard, I would be doing wheelies like all the freaking time.
All right, hang on. Genuine. What the fuck is he talking about? Genuine.
What was the quote again?
Hang on, I'm gonna try to spell this like he's got genuine Rogue House.
I don't know, man.
Hang
on.
Oh, it is a scooter.
Yeah. Okay. So it is a.
So
scooter,
Genuine is the brand. Jesus Christ.
Really? All right. Double meaning. Double entendre here.
Yeah. Let's see. Right.
So is it a small bike like the Grom?
Well, I'm gonna pull up the. Yeah, I mean it's basically the same size, but this is Don't worry, we'll get back to Andor.
Yeah, you've been waiting to talk about that for a year.
Yeah, right.
Or for months now. You've been saying it's so good, so that's why I had to watch it.
It is, yeah. I think it actually gets better the longer you watch it.
So far, I'm not impressed. I'm just kidding. I'm just chill out, everybody.
All right, the model. Okay, yeah. So that's it. So that's the Rough House, the genuine Rough House, and that's the kind of pants you need to be wearing or shorts you need to be wearing.
Yeah, yeah, guy or girl.
Yeah,
That's
guy
a
or girl.
unisex.
That's the
That's a
yeah the
unisex.
unisex, genuine unisex roughhouse
The
bike.
genuine Raphael. Oh, that looks pretty badass. I would not ride one.
Yeah, no, what does he say? No, it makes the Grom look like a baby's nutsack. You goddamn right,
Uh,
especially with the ball on the back.
mm, well, I don't know about the rough house, but let's have a race between the Grom and the rough house, and let's see who
Yeah.
wins.
Well, the one thing I can say about scooters is I do like the fact that you can just kind of slide into it.
Dude, they have
You don't have
these
to like
scooters these
step
days.
over.
Have you seen the big and to bring back the villages? Have you seen these big scooters that you can buy for like old people buy these scooters?
What?
It's almost like a Honda Goldwing, but it's a scooter.
Okay, hang on. Let me see if
And
I
they're really big scooters.
can.
And they're very comfortable. They're easy to get onto.
Let's see here.
It's like it's crazy.
Let's say Honda Goldwing like scooter.
Well, I don't. That's what I'm saying. That may not be what Google
Oh, no,
translates into.
it's definitely only showing me Goldwings.
Okay, look up. Oh shoot, I don't even know what to look for. Like big, like look for scooters for senior citizens.
Ah, that's
like,
a good one. Scooters for senior.
like because okay, senior citizens ride
citizens.
trikes, the 3-wheeled motorcycles.
Oh.
Because
It's good. Yeah, all I'm finding are the roundabouts. Remember those things, or what do they call them?
roundabout.
Is that what they're called? The scooters that the the regular ones.
I think they make scooters that are 3 wheels too. For anyway, these older people they ride the 3-wheel, the trike bike a lot because it's stable, so they don't have to worry about accidents. The wife can still get in the back and be comfortable. It's like you're sitting on a leather couch. They got wind deflection, they got all the lights, they got stereos, they got navigation. So this is like if you were retired and you want to travel the countryside on a motorcycle, you would buy a trike
Well,
for you and your spouse to travel, right? But they make scooters like that too, like big ass scooters.
let me show you what else they make here. Maybe. Oh shit. This might be the manliest way that you can be a cripple.
Here we go.
Okay. Now this is real.
This is real, man.
And if you're a man and you're feeling a little down on your luck and your lifestyle because you're a cripple, don't worry. You can still be a man with this.
Oh, right on, brother.
Woo!
Is that off-road tires?
It is, and there's a picture of a dude going off-road on one of these. Hang on, let me pull that up here.
Yeah, you could go on a hiking trail.
There's this one, the dude's at the beach. Look at this.
What?
Yeah, let me get this one.
At the beach?
Hang on.
Gonna get a tan on your.
Yeah, and I'll give a shout out to the page here in just a second. But boom, look at that.
Oh, whoa,
Go
that looks
off
like the
motherfucking road. Hover around. That's the
That's
thing
like
I was
the
thinking
hover
of.
round.
That's the thing I was thinking of, but it's not.
The
This
mobility scooter.
This thing's beefy. Wait till you see hang on. This one.
I don't know, man. The gray wheels.
No, see that's the
wrong move right there. You got to go with the dirt bike tires.
Yeah, that's the 111 model. You got to go with the XB3000.
The 112.
That's gonna be this one right here. This is the XB3000. Boom.
Yes.
You can go in the ocean with this motherfucker. Boom. The Viking 4x4 can easily manage any beach, even with standard rims and wheels. Whether the sand is wet or dry, the Viking 4x4 is ready to take you there. In the event the sand is not packed well, the all-terrain beach tires shown above, right there in the screen, would be required, but available.
Oh, nice.
Now,
beach tires.
Let's check this dude out, man. So
it's all about weight distribution.
This guy is either stuck or they got him mid crossing the canyon.
Yeah, if you're hitting
Boom.
ruts.
Look at that motherfucker. So it's 4-wheel drive, essentially. You know, everything. Yeah, so that's pretty fucking badass, man.
But imagine you can't walk and you get stuck, and then someone's got to help you.
Yeah, but you got four-wheel drive, man.
I know, but
Get in there.
Like, what if you need a tow? What if you need someone to pull you out?
You don't need a tow. Hey, wait. There's a fucking video. Holy shit. Holy shit. Hang on. We gotta check this video out. How do I? Here we go. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Shout out to what company is this? Unlimited. Oh no, Unlimited Wheelchair Observer. That's
sponsor you.
Yeah, sponsor me. Is that what this company is called? No. DiscoverYourMobility.com. There you go. And it's under Viking 4x4. So for those men that aren't quite men yet, 4x4. There you go. 4x4. All right, here we go. Let's we'll commentate on this video so we don't get sued here. Here we go. The no more limitation. Can't say that word system. It looks like they misspelled it. Synchro moving function. Look at that thing, man. The unlimited electric wheelchair. Dang, look at that thing, bro. That's like a Johnny 5, but with a person on it.
Oh wow, okay.
This is the motard of wheelchairs.
Yeah. The hyper motard. Yeah. The hyper wheelchair.
Yeah, that thing looks like holy shit, he's gonna go up that.
Going up a ramp?
Holy fuck, man. Dude, this thing is amazing.
Oh, and the chair rotates. This chair.
That's pretty good, man.
Oh, sweet.
Look at this thing.
Now that's not gonna work on ice.
I don't know. That ground looks wet though.
Climb a mountain. You're not gonna.
It looks like the ground is wet, man.
You're not gonna summit Everest with that thing.
Well, I mean, why not? Fuck it.
But, I mean,
because you got 360-degree revolving. Turn freely at a narrow pace.
Base camp.
Narrow space. Look at this fucking thing. Yeah, this is like you're like on Mars with this thing.
Yeah, it's like the rover.
Yeah, man.
Hey, if you had a magazine for mobility scooters, what would you call it?
Motard.
Mobility card.
Yeah. Mobile tard.
You're mean. You are so mean to these people, these poor people with disabilities.
No, I'm actually
cancel this channel.
I'm promoting this fucking thing, man. Look at this. What an invention here, man.
You probably don't like the blacks either, dude.
Jesus Christ. All right, wait.
You probably don't even like the gays.
Can this show all right, let's see the first picture that this thing, look at that. It's like going upstairs or going downstairs. Man, this like for real though, man. Like we're talking about like motorcycles, this is a way to have that action too when you're Timmy.
Old, huh? Oh, whoa. What do you mean by that?
Timmy.
Did you just say what I think you said?
No, we're trying to make sure men are still men, right? And if you you don't have the function halfway down, you can still be a man. Just get one of these. The No More Limitation OBEWX1 Unlimited Electric Wheelchair by DiscoverMyMobility.com.
By Gillette.
Yeah. By Menon.
By Menon.
All right.
Dude, what was the product that they sold? I remember that commercial.
Yeah, what did they sell?
What was their product?
Yeah, the Viking 4x4. Go with that. All right. So you can still be a man and get around. You can look like a man, be like a man. You don't have to you don't have to have one of those crappy, old school wheelchairs. Used wheelchair. Get yourself a Viking 4x4. Get back out there.
Get out there.
Yeah.
Get back out there.
Put an American flag on the back of that thing. Woo!
Yep.
4th of July coming up soon.
Yep.
Do it.
Right
but yeah, that's a good segue. As Speaking of speaking of bi-menin, right? Andor has some issues with being bi-menin, and we're going to talk about those.
Yeah.
Is a bi-men? But I am going to try to. Oh, there it is, menin. Try to pull that up real quick. Ah, yeah, that's what it was. It was the aftershave and deodorant, skin bracer. That's what it's called. Speed stick by Menon.
Huh.
I don't remember skin bracer, but I remember that bottle. Looks familiar. But speed stick, I definitely remember that.
Word.
What else? I know there was one. It basically looks like Brute, but it's not Brute.
BRU. Oh yeah, Brute.
Yeah, but speed stick. That's the main one from by Menon.
Mm.
But yeah, all right. So let's get into Andor. Yeah, Andor Menon. So all right. So you just started watching this because I recommended it to you. And I highly recommended it to you. We'll start with
highly recommended.
Yeah.
This comes like the most recommendation I've ever heard you recommend anything.
Well, because it's been like, I don't know, like a decade since I've seen anything worth recommending.
Yeah, there's been a lot of garbage out there.
Yeah. And surprisingly, this comes from Disney Plus. And it comes from Star Wars in particular, which has been god awful since the original, essentially. So since the first three movies, we haven't really had anything good. So arguably there's some like side projects and stuff, but as far as like the main stuff, not anything good. So this was the first time where I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot, and then it turned out to be really fucking good. I actually thought season 2. Once you get past the clearly not written by the same guy 3 episodes at the beginning, I think it gets much better.
Oh, you can see the writers at the end when the episode.
Yeah. So you can tell when it's not the
different person.
Yeah, when it's not the main guy, like Tony Gilroy. Gilroy. It is absolutely 100% clear.
Who is Tony?
Yeah.
Gilroy? Is he
all right?
Woke?
And PH Balance says, "That's my time to leave. Good night, brother. Nighty night.
Have a good one.
Don't let the penis bugs bite."
Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I guess people got to go to bed. I mean, like I do.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll get into this, and then we'll probably call it a night after that. But yeah, so I thought
I'm still not done with my beer. So
oh, great. Oh yeah. What was the brand there? A little.
Oh yeah. So the local brewery, it's in a town called Athens, Ohio.
Athens, Ohio.
Yeah, and the brewery is called Little Fish.
Little Fish.
And the beer that I'm drinking is an IPA called Dear Science.
Dear, like DEER.
Like DEAR, like Dear Science.
Oh, Dear Science.
Thank you for improving
this beer.
This beer, it's a hazy IPA called Dear Science. They brew it right there, and it was so good. When I had it, I had to get 2 crowlers to take home.
Nice. Yeah, and so you're raving about this thing, like best beer you've ever had, or pretty close?
Oh, I wouldn't say that's the best beer. Because I kind of stopped drinking for a while.
Okay.
I didn't drink beer or liquor. This whole year, I've really cut back on drinking. Like I might drink maybe a handful of times this year.
Okay.
So I haven't had a beer that I enjoyed in so long, and I had this one at the brewery. Of course, it's a local brewery recommended by one of my coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I stopped by on the way home from Ohio, from Columbus.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I was like, oh man, this tastes delicious.
Nice. Well, so shout out to Little Fish, Dear Science.
Yeah, Dear Science hazy IPA.
Yeah, so go try that out, and if you are a drinker, go try it. I guess you can probably order it, right? You can probably.
And if not, you may still enjoy it because it's not really heavy on the IPA. At least to me, maybe I'm just used to it, but like I like IPAs anyway. But it's a delicious
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah.
I would definitely say, and I think it's because number one, it's been so long, and the only beer that I've drank in the last year has been stuff from the store. Like I had a Torpedo IPA
Mhm.
the other day, and I just, for whatever reason, just didn't sit right. It just didn't. I don't know. I used to love Torpedo, but Sierra Nevada makes that, and they make a Torpedo IPA, like a double IPA or
Yeah.
something. I got a case the other day. I had one or two, and I was like, yeah, this isn't
Yeah.
very good. So I actually gave it to my coworker. I gave away the rest of the case to him because I was like, I don't know, just
Yeah.
I like it upset my stomach.
What was
Oddly
it?
enough,
Is it was
but this one is
torpedo?
fine. This one, well, it was Sierra Nevada's Torpedo. I think it's
Okay.
a double.
Okay.
But they had a summer pack come out where it was a variety pack.
Okay.
So it had like 4 different flavors in there.
Okay. I just got reminded of that douche Bigelow, right? He's like,
Douche.
where he's like,
Douche.
it's like my penis is uncircumcised. It's like a torpedo, no hit.
That's why you're laughing. I was
Yeah.
It's like a torpedo.
But okay, yeah. So you are 2 episodes into Andor.
I am on number 4.
Oh, number 4. Okay, so
The one that I showed you,
Mhm.
so yeah, I passed 3. So I watched 1 and 2 the other day.
Yep.
I watched 3, and I'm on 4 this evening, and then I called you. So
yeah. Well, that's
yeah. So I'm
pretty
partway
good.
through 4, and one of the things I noticed was that the women seem to be a little aggressive, almost like it's almost more aggressive than some of the men are being.
Mhm.
And that's a weird thing to me. The only thing where the woman wasn't aggressive and she was more on the sweet feminine side was when he walked into that gentleman's establishment in episode 1.
Yeah.
And she was like real nice and pleasant with him, right?
Well, yeah, you know, she's in a brothel.
So but and that's what they're supposed to. That's what you should be like. Like,
Yeah.
why? Here's what I would ask all women: why do you want to be a headache for any man? Why? Like, how does that serve you? How does it serve you to be a headadoche for men? Oh, I'm going to be a challenge. I'm going to be what? Like, why? Why? That's not what we're looking for. I don't know who told you that, but that's not what we want. We want someone fun, easy to get along with, who can take a joke, who can also joke. You know, it's like it'd be nice if you had a sense of humor. Most women don't, but it'd be nice if you had one.
Well,
but you know, otherwise, just be nice, be sweet, be fun.
You're looking for a brothel chick.
Yeah, I guess so, because they know what men want.
So
men only want one thing, and it's disgusting. And wash it.
Your uncircumcised penises.
Yeah,
clean those things.
Women only want one thing, and it's a torpedo.
Yeah, it's a torpedo penis. So I was watching South Park, sorry, and it was like season 18 or something where they had like the cock magic, but it's like so it's like the main episode is about like roosters playing Magic the Gathering, like underground, like it's like cockfighting, but they're playing Magic, so it's like roosters like cockfighting but with Magic the Gathering cards. So that's like the main storyline, but the side storyline is that Randy, the Stan's dad, so he overhears them talking about, you know, cock magic, and he's like, and he's trying to explain to them like what he used to do, you know, because he's like, I used to do cock magic. And then, but his cock magic is like magic with his penis. It's like, and he has like this just old man drummer like doing the drums like, and it's like,
yeah, like the intro to Shaft.
Dude, it is so goddamn funny. You got to watch it. So that's on HBO Max. You can get South Park on there. So, dude, it's so funny. But anyway, yeah. So, all right. So yeah. So the tough girls that you're talking about, that you got to. So but the one thing you've already kind of pointed out the difference between Andor and like everything else that's out there is they did show variations of female characters, right? So there's a brothel lady that acts like a lady that's in a brothel, right? And then there's these two tough chicks, which I can explain to you why it's not a big deal.
Well, there's his friend.
Yep.
In the first and second episode, there's his mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching episode 4, so it's the blonde chick.
Yep.
And it's the other blonde chick who's the Imperial. Whatever.
Yeah.
So
okay.
you got 4 women that have throughout these episodes demonstrated they're ignoring what the men are saying and they're just doing what they want. So they're writing them as almost like a male character. Which
I can totally see where you're going for, or where you're coming from on that.
I'm not going for that, but it's like and they're doing this like physical, almost like this somewhat intimidation.
Yeah,
it's very subtle, I thought, and maybe I'm reading too much into it. But one of the scenes was that girl, his friend, her boyfriend ratted him out, right?
Yep.
So she kind of like walks closer to him, and like he backs up against the wall, and I'm like, I don't know that would literally happen.
Yep.
But some men do back down from their women because women are so, well, number one, the certain type of woman that's like that probably goes for a man that she can dominate at some point. And yeah, the guy will back up because ultimately we know if we hit a woman, we're in trouble.
there's your answer on that one.
It's almost like women are taking advantage of that. It's like, well, look, she's like, I know I'm not gonna, I know you're not gonna hit me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do everything I can to try and push you to your limit.
Yeah. What was that? The Bill Burr comedy sketch he was talking about that. Yeah. He's like, they know you're not allowed to hit them.
Yeah. But have you seen the YouTube videos where it's like men hitting women or men hitting women that deserve it or something?
I mean, I don't spend my time on YouTube doing that, but
well, I've looked at that in the past, and it's like there's YouTube videos where it shows women getting karma or something like that. It's like, and it's they come up to the guy, they get in the guy's face. It's sometimes they're even hitting the guy, and the guy just decks them, and they straight hit the floor. Obviously, you're gonna, and I don't really know because we don't do this when we're growing up, but I don't think women understand how strong guys are compared to them.
Well,
so when a guy hits you,
look at the difference in the picture that's on the screen there.
You're going down.
You and your lady friend.
Hits you. You get a guy that's 250. You know.
Well,
a lot of guys
let's add to that a guy that can fight.
Well, or that's gonna fight. Yeah, I guess. Okay.
So they got to be able to throw. They got to be able to throw a punch.
Not even. That reminds me of a story Joe Rogan told once, where he was at a party, and there was some guy who was a fighter, and some woman was being some chick. I don't know if his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, whatever. She was, and he said he snapped a punch out. He's like, it looked like you could tell that guy had trained. And he just real quick, punched her right in the face or something. He's like, but the way he tells it, Joe Rogan's like looking at it from a fighter's perspective. And it's funny. He's like, guy.
He's over there commentating.
Yeah.
He's like,
whoa! That famous scene where he goes, whoa!
Yeah.
He almost falls out of his chair. Yeah, exactly. That's a classic one.
Dude, so have you ever watched that movie, Way of the Gun?
No, I've heard of it.
Oh, dude, you got to watch it at least for. I want to say it's one of the maybe the beginning scene, but
is it Plus?
I don't know, but it actually the idea for that first scene actually came from the writer. He used to take his dog to the dog park, and then there would be these guys like playing frisbee or something, and so one of the guys playing frisbee stepped on some shit or whatever, and they got pissed off at them because they're the ones with the dogs, and it's like him and his buddy, and then
how do you know it's his dog though?
Exactly, but it's already like a situation. So there's he's like there's so many people or so many guys and all the girlfriends, and he basically he's like yeah, and I was like just go ahead and start hitting the women, hit them first. And he's like, and his friend's like, what are you talking about? He's like, we're definitely losing this fight, but they're gonna go home with busted bitches.
Ooh, that's a good point. That's long term, yeah.
And then
thinking outside the box.
so they get out of that situation, but it ends up being in the movie where he's like, shut that fucking cunt's mouth. And then like she still ends up talking shit. And it's funny because the guy's like, what are you doing? Stop, I'm handling it. and then all of a sudden he just decks the shit out of the chick, and she's like, oh my god. And they do get beat up after that, but it's just like, it's funny that like he just focused on punching that girl in the face, and then they get beat up. Like,
do you remember who was it that said, I think it's Mike Tyson, said everybody's got a plan when they step in the ring until they get punched in the face?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so
well, especially I think it's for when it comes to Mike Tyson, it's like they all got a plan until they realize Mike Tyson's the one they're fighting.
Oh, until, I mean, yeah, if you got hit
Jesus
by Mike
Christ.
Tyson, like imagine that's probably a pretty solid hit,
dude. That is okay. So that's like getting hit by like the worst possible person that you could be hit by. Like,
so imagine you're a guy and you're in a fight and you get hit. That's one thing. But imagine you're a woman getting hit, and it's like a guy, average guy, getting hit by Mike Tyson. Like,
maybe, yeah.
Then, of course,
it might be woman, like even worse scale.
And every time I've seen videos of that, there's no recourse from that. Like no woman comes back for more. It's always done. It's done. It's one hit, one and done. So
that's because the ones that can actually fight aren't going to do that stupid shit. So.
That could be another thing too, because they know what happens when you cross that line.
Yeah, I will say
the feminist movement doesn't teach. The feminist movement doesn't teach women like, hey, look, we're teaching you to push the boundaries, but here's what happens when you do that. Sometimes it's like you're gonna lose.
Well, I mean, it's like, if you don't have any kind of like skill whatsoever, like. That's probably why you're talking shit. Like, because you just don't know any better. You don't know better. No
man is going to hit an innocent woman who's sweet, and
that's like psychopath.
It's the women that change their role to the masculine role. They try and be dominant. They try and assert something. It's like that's not the way. That's not how you're built. A lot of times, some women are built like men. And that's a little different, but not most. Most women are built in a different way.
That's like, what the hell's her name? That jiu-jitsu lady. She's a giant. Jesus Christ, what the hell's her? Gabrielle, what the fuck is her name?
Gabby. Big Gabby. That's probably her name.
I think she does go
Big Gabby. She goes by Big Gabby.
Jiu-jitsu. There we go. What is her name? God damn it. Of course, all the dude Gabriels. Gabby Garcia. Gabby Garcia.
Okay.
That's what it is. Gabby Garcia.
If you say so.
Dude, like let me tell you. You don't want to get hit by this chick.
Well, probably not.
So
sure
there isn't
1% of women on this planet.
There is if we want to have that argument, there is an exception, ladies. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And I'm about to show you what she is. Right there. Yeah. That's Gabby Garcia.
Dude, that's not a woman.
And so yeah, that's.
Wow. Does she still menstruate? I bet she does not.
She's actually a pretty as feminine as she can be.
I bet she can't perform the womanly duties.
Yeah, so there's another. Oh, picked the wrong picture. Hang on. Oh, there it is. Here's another one.
Bro, that's a rough house right there.
Yeah, that's a genuine rough house. There you go, dude. She's like fucking Arnold right there.
Dude, no way. Yeah, she would dominate you in every way, probably.
Let me see. Where is? So she's versus Craig Jones.
Do they wrestle men?
They specifically did a fight together.
Really?
Yeah. And I'll show you the. Well, they kind of did it for fun.
Yeah. So yeah, of course.
Yeah,
and that's cool. That
Yeah.
was all in fun.
But she was
like,
she was very like appreciative and everything, like to do. There it is. That's the. And I think this is where he like slaps a kiss on her, and she's like, "What the fuck, motherfucker?"
Does he really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Because he was always like going back and forth about like trying to have sex with her. Like,
Trying to.
yeah.
You'd have to jump up there.
Dude, that dude is fucking hilarious. So
She'd have to be willing. I'll say there's no forcing her.
Yeah. I think I want to say, I'm not 100%, but I think she has her own like sex shop and like sex line or something like that. Like
Really?
she has a she also has a OnlyFans for you boys out there looking for some freak nasty.
Yeah, you're looking for a big mama.
Yeah, if you're into that, she's got an OnlyFans. Actually, you know what? I'll pull it up and I'll let y'all know what it is.
She's not only rich from everything else, but she's rich probably from OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, OnlyFans. Dude, let's see.
Have you heard of the website Feet Finder?
Yep, there it is. No.
Well, I've heard this is a thing, so I don't participate in OnlyFans or Feet Finder. It's not my thing, but apparently it's a huge deal, and
all mode
girls can make a lot of money posting pictures of their feet on there.
Oh, here we go. Dang, really?
Yeah, and imagine like you're a woman,
here it is.
You just post pictures of your feet.
So
and you do your nails, and you look cute, and it's like you don't even have to post your face
ridiculous.
or your body. You just put your feet.
Let's see. OnlyFans at Gabby. OnlyFans at Gabby Garcia Official. So at GABIGARCIAO Official.
AOFFI.
Yeah.
Office. CL.
Official. Yeah.
Official. Genuine. Rog house.
It says Gabby Garcia's journey on OnlyFans is a testament to the platform's potential for success. Oh man,
yeah, she can make it. You can too,
dude. Like, so she's out there, boys. If you want that.
I mean, is she posing?
If you want
like,
that
bikinis or something, like what is she doing?
Well, let's just go ahead and pull something up here.
I don't care.
No, you're gonna. I'm
sure there's nothing she can do that would appeal to me.
Well, let's see if this changes your mind, big boy.
I'm already riding the hyper mode.
We're super sidetracked from Andor, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, I said my point, which is the women seem to be.
There you go, bro. That's what you're gonna get into on her OnlyFans.
Thanks.
You can't, something's happening.
Yeah, I know something about that. I feel a weird.
Yeah.
I feel a swelling in my pants.
Oh, that's funny. But
I just kind of went off road.
All right, so
Sorry, I'm watching in the background.
Retards.
As I'm
motards.
I'm watching this guy doing a track day on a hyper motard, and he's racing the street bikes that I have, right? The Panigales and stuff.
But with the motard.
Yeah. So what happens is he gets him. He can hang with them in the turns, but in the straights, the sports bike leave him because of course, right? So, but if you can make it in the straight, which you eventually catch up in the turns. So that's what happens out here. My buddy, one of the guys I ride with, he's got a 890 Duke R, which is a KTM, kind of like their version of the Hyper Motard. It's kind of like that naked bike.
Yeah.
But it's 890 Duke R is what he has, and he can. I don't know if he tries to leave me in the turns, but there's some times where I can't keep up with him, just because I moved here from Florida. I'm not used to these roads.
Yeah, right.
And I have to say, it's a whole other learning experience coming up here and trying to ride on and drive on these roads, because I think if you're from here, you actually are made better.
Oh yeah.
You're born riding these roads and being able to deal with it. Well, we grew up in Florida.
Yeah.
flat straight roads.
Straightaways. Yeah.
We don't know what it's like to ride
to take a turn.
constant turns, mountain roads, elevation change. Like we don't know
going
what
up and
that's
down.
like,
Yeah.
but it is so much better up here.
Yeah.
I will say. So look, if I get this other bike, you have to come out.
Oh yeah, and try it
you
out.
have
Yeah.
to ride, and I will say that like we have to make it happen.
Yeah,
and
for
you're
sure.
gonna fall in love with these roads up here, man. You're gonna be like, I see why.
Yeah.
Because it's so fun. Like just basically going over the mountain. You know, you snake left, right. It's just constant snaking up the mountain and then go back down the mountain. And it's like that all the time. Like there's hardly a straight road up here.
Man, sounds amazing.
So, yeah. And you could ride the Hypermotard. You could ride the Panicale.
No, I'm good. I don't want to be no retard. No, I'll definitely ride it.
Yeah, no, it'd be fun. You probably think it's fun.
It looks like it would be fun. Like just because it feels like because that's how that seat is. Like leaning into it. Like you like lay down on that thing.
Yeah.
But
my other thought was I buy another sports bike and get the BMW S1000 RR.
Yeah, but then it's like it's too similar, I think, right? Like
then I have well, they're pretty different from what people say, but they're still sports bikes. So
yeah, I mean, like your
degrees of separation.
Yeah.
Right. Versus the Hypermotard and any other bike, which is going to be vastly different because it's not even a sports bike.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like you're in another not dimension, but like another category. Yeah. So yeah.
But I will say my buddy that's on his 890 Duke R, he can zip through the turns pretty quick, and he loves the way that bike rides. He's like, oh, it handles so good and this and that. He actually has the same brakes that I have on my Ducati. It's like they built it with upgraded brakes, and I guess I don't know how the suspension works, but it's supposed to be a pretty decent bike. And the only thing is it's not as fast in the straight line, but in the turns, it's not about that. It's about your skill and the tires. So he usually runs pretty good tires, and so yeah, we're pretty much. I don't know. I think I take more chances than him. So if we are on the road, sometimes he'll follow me, and sometimes I can leave him, but that's only because of the power of the bike, basically.
Yeah.
Because I like kind of double the horsepower that he.
Yeah. Well,
I'll go through the turns, man. If it's tight turns, he's leaving me for sure because I just don't want to lean the bike over that far, and I don't want to wreck. I've not had an accident in probably 10 years, and I'm gonna keep it that way.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we already had our fun.
Oh yeah, we already had our accident. I've been down like 6 times.
Yeah.
But the first few years I was riding it, so I have pushed.
I'll never forget the first scratch. That was when I stopped at
on your bike?
Yeah, when I stopped on that dirt road. And
the gravel road.
My foot started sliding and I couldn't fix the situation. I was like, no. It was like the slowest lay down. Slowest lay down ever.
Yeah, because it's 400 pounds you're laying over.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you can't get your footing, it's like the more I moved my foot, the worse it got, and I was like, shit. Yeah. And it's going down, and it was just like really fucking slow. Like I tried to mitigate the scraping as much as possible, but there was like one there was like one little tiny rock that got in there.
Yeah, we had turned around. I think there was a gravel road on the side, like with someone's driveway.
Yeah.
We had turned around in the driveway.
It's the fucking worst.
And you put your foot down and like flipped out.
Yeah. It was like, and I just couldn't fix it.
And I think you lowered your bike after that.
That's exactly what made me do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, I do remember.
Yeah. And that was definitely for the best. So it definitely changed the bike a little, but it was better for me in the long run.
Yeah. It was different. You're right. It was different riding. The geometry changed.
Yeah.
Of course, the back's sitting lower by like an inch or two.
Yeah.
I think every click was an inch lower.
Yep. That's what I remember.
Every notch, the lowering links, but yeah, and it did feel a little weird, but I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I got used to it though. It was pretty quick. But
you know what you could have done? You could have lowered. We lowered the front too, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think we evened it out.
We loosened the triple clamps, and you got to drop.
I think so.
Because you want a rake. You want a slight rake.
Yeah.
Even though it's lowered, you could still get a little rake going on because you don't want the front high. But I don't know. I do remember there being something about that.
Well, they don't have motorcycles, but they got speeders on Andor.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so
Yeah, and they look pretty sweet.
speaking of, so you just food for thought, but the hypermotard seat height is like 34, 35 inches or something.
Oh yeah,
It's
so that's like high for
and
you.
I'm on my I'm on
Yeah.
almost on my toes.
Yeah.
I'm you know, so I sat on one last weekend that was a 23 that was for sale, the new 23 that looked old and looked like it was used. Um, yeah, they wanted 17.3 for that
God
bike.
damn.
And the one I found was 15.9. So I was like,
Oh
okay,
yeah,
so
that's much
16.
more what you're looking for.
So 16, and if of course if I see any issues, obviously I can negotiate. But yeah, and my guess is that guy traded in. I don't know what he traded in on, but my guess is that he didn't get 15 on the trade in either.
Yeah, yeah.
He probably got 10.
Yep.
So I know there's some flexibility. Yeah, sure they can sell the bike any other day, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
see what
Yeah.
I'm gonna see what I can get here. Trying to use my skills of
Yeah.
negotiation.
Yeah.
Trying to use my Chris Voss
Putting it to work.
method. But yeah, I mean it has worked other times. I mean, I I usually do okay at a dealership. I don't get totally raked over. I will say that I feel like it's a reasonable amount
Yeah.
usually that
Just the
that
tip.
I pay. Yeah, just a tip. Yeah, they get their money. Well,
Yeah.
that's the truth is. Well, the truth is a dealership, like you're mostly paying 5 grand over a
Yeah.
lot of
Well,
times
they're not
for
not going to get
especially
their
for a
money.
used
So.
car. Well, right, because they have already got made their money on the buy for the previous owner. So say you buy a car for $30,000. Well, they have given the previous owner 20 or 25,000, and then they're going to try and sell it to you for 30. So it's
Yep.
your job to know the current value by Kelly Blue Book, KB, the Kelly Blue Book
Well,
value or the
versus
NADA value.
the what was that, the black book thing or whatever too?
Well, a lot of times people won't know what the auction price is,
Yeah.
but you can infer that by looking at the Kelly Blue Book rough trade-in offer, and then subtracting like $3,000 to $5,000.
Yeah. Right.
Because a lot of times,
Yeah.
well, and that's true because if you're trying to do a private sale, or you look at the trade-in value and look at the rough trade-in, and a lot of times the dealer will give you the rough trade-in
Hmm.
for $2,000 to $3,000 less than that.
Yeah.
And that to me is when they go back and they check the auction prices, they come right out and they say, okay, it's trading at auction at like 21. So they may offer you 20 or 21.
Okay.
That's my experience. And I can't say I've been through a shit ton of cars, but I've had probably how many have I had?
I don't know.
Let's see.
You're getting up
I
there
had
to you're getting up there to mat
four,
numbers.
5, 6, 7, 7, 8 cars maybe.
Dang.
And I
Yeah.
had a couple of motorcycles. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that's what they do. And they do the same for bikes too. Still, they want to make that 5 grand. And I go to trade in my motorcycle and they offer me like 5 grand less. Well, obviously, your margin is different on the motorcycle because the total price of the motorcycle is like 20 grand.
Hmm.
But they want to offer you 10 as a trade in. It's like, well, how are you?
Yeah.
You can't make car sales prices. I can see a
Yeah.
couple
Yeah.
thousand, but not 5,000.
Yeah. That's
Because
ridiculous.
that's like 25% of the bike sale. Imagine going to your trade in your car and they give you like 70% of the value.
Hmm.
You're like, whoa, hold on. I could do a private sale. And that's what a lot of people do. They do a private sale on a motorcycle because if
Yeah.
you trade it to a dealer, you lose your ass. So
Well, you're
here's
more likely to be able to sell your motorcycle privately than a car. So
yeah, well, it's
like,
cheaper, but people have to have cash.
yeah.
It's hard to get a loan on a used motorcycle.
Yeah.
So whoever it is going to have cash in hand, cold hard cash.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, that's the see. Well, we'll see how it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll get there, and what's most likely I'm going to find. I'll check the tires and stuff, but for the most part, it's already had the service,
Hmm.
a 600-mile service. It's not going to need another service for like 8,000 miles,
Yeah.
probably. So it's going to be a long time. I'm obviously going to do my
Hmm.
own oil changes like I do on my other bike. and everything else, and brake fluid and all that. But
Well, send over
yeah.
that picture, and then I can set that up for when you can compare when you've got it.
Oh yeah. So if I do end up buying that bike, I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to figure out a way to get both bikes like set up on the
Mhm.
road or in my garage or something.
Yeah,
Take a picture of them like head to head or side by side or something.
yeah. Well,
I'm gonna try and get
also
a
send
cool photo shoot.
the beard picture too, so
Oh yeah, yeah,
so I can set
yeah.
that
But
up as
okay,
well.
so to get back to Andor.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yep.
so far, I I don't really. I'm I'm kind of watching everything. It seems like the Empire is like nobody likes them, but they're still in charge somehow.
Mhm.
But yet they're running around like they have no rules.
Well, yeah, because
So this is
they're
like
kind
a
of
movie.
they're kind of
It's like a
taking
rogue.
over.
It's like they're their own rogue force. Like they
Yeah.
just come in, occupied by force. There are rules, but they don't want to follow them, and the people don't know the rules.
Hmm.
So
Well,
it's kind of a metaphor for life.
they're also like you'll see it gets more in depth with the politics that they use. So
Right
they're
on.
still trying to be like seen as a good thing, even though they know they're not. You know,
Yeah.
but it also I think the beauty of Andor is like, and the rest of the Star Wars stuff and most things I guess also is it's pretty clear like Empire bad, these guys good, right?
Empire bad.
But in Andor, it's like we know that the Empire is bad. We know where it's going to end up as well. But you're also looking at people that believe in it, like that work there, and
That
you
work for the Empire?
yeah. So you're seeing it at this lower level, of they think they're doing the right things, right? So they
Is
believe in
that the
this.
lieutenant that gets
Yeah.
burned
So
in the first three?
yeah, and holy shit,
Because
does that guy have one of the best character arcs ever?
oh, okay.
So
I would say because like so here's what I noticed. Unless I'm cutting you off,
no,
but
go ahead.
uh, okay. So he sees that the bad guy escapes. It's almost like this is like a new lieutenant. He comes in. He's very enthusiastic.
Yep,
He's like, I want to catch the bad guy. It seems like he'd be doing the right thing. And then
yep,
he goes to catch Andor. It doesn't work. He loses men. There's a decoy. It blows up. And then he's staring at the burning wreckage, and he just has this moment where he's like enraged, and you can tell he's thinking about something, right?
yeah, and
And then he goes back to the Empire, gets scolded, and then back to that moment where you can tell he's enraged, like what's going. And now it's an internal conflict.
yeah, because now he's like, because he's about the law, right? Here, I'm here to uphold the law, and
Right.
clearly his superiors are like, the law doesn't, it's stupid. Like we don't
Well,
need
he
to
was
worry.
already told,
Yeah,
ignore this.
yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah,
all about politics, but he
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
understand that yet
exactly. And I think that's what makes this really, really good is like
because he's learning. It's a metaphor for life in a
yeah,
way.
and so the show's really good. Even better later, and going into the like not just Empire bad, right? It's just there are people that work there that think they're doing the right things, right?
Well, that's any organization.
Yeah, and I
Which
think
is
that
why that's probably
yeah,
why it's so well written, like you're saying, is
yeah,
because it mirrors life,
yeah,
mirrors
yeah.
reality in such a way.
And and then on the note of like the strong female characters, like they have flaws in this show, which is not the case like anywhere else. Like they have things that they're not good at, and they're also like there's consequences for their actions, like severe consequences, like that might not show up until later, but like they're but in addition to that, they're actually competent as well. So like the things that they do move things forward. So they're not just for character's sake being the way they are. They're moving the plot forward. They're making things happen in the universe as well, and they're competent in the positions that they're in. So they're not.
So the blonde woman.
Yeah, so she grew on me like quite a bit, like because when I first saw I had the same feeling you had. I was like, God damn it, not again. And then like
This is the blonde woman who is on the resistance side or the imperial side.
Imperial side. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now,
yeah.
now
she seems to be kind of bitchy at first.
Yeah, and then you start to see that. Okay, so she's I think it's Patagas or whatever that guy's name is. He kind of mentors her, so that's already a difference from everything else that's out there on television.
Is that the first guy she meets with, and he's like, "Don't do it."
Yeah, so he's like the older
friends.
Yeah, the older guy. Yeah, and
black guy. He's black, dark.
No, not him. The older white guy. So.
Oh, in the meeting.
Yeah, so he's actually kind of like guiding her, and she's listening.
Yeah.
And that happens like throughout, and it's like really, that's great to see these days because they never fucking show that like ever. It's always like she never has to listen to the man like ever. Yeah. But in this case, she does listen to him, and she does kind of like pay attention to his guidance and stuff. But she, she's obviously like a go-getter. And there's consequences to that. And then as far as the other one goes, easy explanation. If you haven't already noticed, she's lesbian. So
I have not yet. We're not there.
So I'll give you that one for free.
No, I'm not done with episode 4. So
yeah. But same thing with her. She's also there's a lot of flaws, and there are consequences for the things that she does. So, and I think that's where the difference lies with Andor, because the problem with Andor is the time that it comes out. Right, we've been set up for the show to fail. So any sign of a strong female character, it's like a red flag. But
I'm only set up that way because of what we talked about.
Well, I mean,
because I don't watch any of the other stuff.
Yeah, but it's like that's just what it's been fed, and it's like, well, that's not realistic character development or characters, right? But Andor has it where it's like okay, you can show a strong character, but they need to have flaws, and they all need to have consequences for the things that they do. And this show absolutely has payoffs. I don't. There's got to be something, because there's always something that people miss. But I think there's a payoff for everything in the show, and a lot of the new content, like shows and movies, they'll give you all these like, here's this thing. Oh, this thing's really important, and then you never hear about it again. And there's no closure about anything, so it's just like constant like open doors. But Andor actually closes the doors, which is like super important for storytelling. It's like if you want to make something important, or even just show anything, it needs to have an ending of some kind. Like there needs to be, what happened to that guy? Why did you make a whole episode about this guy and then never talk about him again?
Yeah.
Which is what they do in almost every TV show these days. It's like, why was there an entire episode about this person that doesn't matter?
Well, everything should be important, right?
Yeah, exactly. And in Andor, like it is. So it might be like season 2 when that becomes like you realize why it was important. But it does show up again. Like that's the good thing about Andor, is like there's a couple of episodes where it's like you can, like I said, you can tell like Tony Gilroy didn't write it because it's completely different. I think
did it show different writers at the end?
I didn't even pay attention because you don't even need to look. It is absolutely 100% clear.
Well, yeah, I'm sure, because I noticed that at the end of this episode, because sometimes I skip the outros and intros.
Well, Disney's outros are like 10 minutes fucking long, and it's just credits.
Yeah, so I skipped it, but I did see the writer, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I look at the next season, it'll be a different writer.
Yeah. Well, it may be, but a lot of times they'll have like because he has like clout or whatever, so they'll keep his name.
Clout.
They'll keep his name as the main thing, but it is 100% clear somebody else was writing that stuff. It's so bad.
Or
like,
what if the direction to him was different? Maybe that's all it is.
Yeah, no, it's like when episode 4 hits, it's completely different. Like it goes right back to the season 1 tone. So it's like I think I want to say it's season or episode 4. Whenever they get out of the fucking woods, whenever that scene is over, and it goes on forever. And it's like, as soon as that's done and out of the story, you never hear about it again. It's not important anymore. It was completely useless.
Never.
It was absolutely not necessary. And then the show never gets that tone ever again. And in fact, it gets darker. Like, and it's like instantly, and you're like, holy shit, thank God. Because I was almost done. I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is terrible.
Thank God it's darker.
Yeah, and then yeah. But yeah, so the characters are, they might be the trope on the surface, but they're actually competent characters. They have flaws, and there's consequences to those things that they do. So and when that's why you really gotta watch the character arc with that lieutenant, because there's gonna be a certain point where you're gonna be like, fuck this show.
Really?
And I guarantee you it's really important that feeling happens. And it's not because of the feeling that you get, but it's important that the character goes through that thing. And then you will be rewarded. Yeah,
massively.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, it's just well written, good dialogue. It's obviously, you wouldn't have gotten episode 4 if it wasn't interesting enough. So
A woke reward.
yeah,
You had to kind of. Now the other, what was the other thing that I noticed? Yeah, kind of. It's definitely establishing that the Empire is just kind of like. Well, I mean, to be fair, if your guards were killed by somebody, like, why would you not pursue?
Exactly. Yeah.
But that guy's leader said, "Hey, these guys were drunk. They were probably at a bar. They weren't supposed to be there.
Yep.
They were doing stuff they weren't supposed to be doing. They did get killed, but they were probably harassing somebody.
Yep.
He's like, leave it alone.
Yep.
Make it into a story.
Exactly.
He's talking politics right away, and he totally disobeys orders, which
Yeah.
is not something that anybody does.
Yep.
This is what I find weird about military movies and stuff, because you were in. So
Yeah.
if you're in a military, especially you're a lieutenant or a private or whatever,
Yeah.
you don't get a chance to just do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
You absolutely follow the rules and obey your superiors.
Well, I think it's kind of in, because this world is really kind of based on like essentially like World War II era.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like there's this massive reach that the Empire has. Yeah. And at a certain point, and it's also like a new thing, right? It's like a relatively new dominating force, right? So they're still kind of like developing themselves. So they're still trying to figure out the politics of the universe, essentially. And because they're also stretched out so far, like, well, galaxy, right? So galaxy far away.
The entire universe.
But it's like they're stretched so far out. They're probably stretched pretty thin. To a certain extent, you probably could do stuff, without somebody giving you the approval and getting away with it. Especially because if you're like a ranking officer, and the grunts don't know any fucking better.
Yeah, but a lieutenant, he's just a lieutenant.
Well, I also don't know what lieutenant means in the Empire, so
that's true.
I'm gonna give them that benefit of the doubt.
Because
most people don't know what those actually mean, and then they'll put it in a movie, and it's like they think it's like a really big deal, but it's not. So
so they haven't said captain, major, colonel, general, anything. None of that yet.
So
he's on the low end.
Yeah, but 100% a general would be able to be like, "Yo, let's go do some stuff." Like,
Yeah, but that hasn't happened.
Yeah. Well, that we know of. Right?
Yeah, we know of.
Yeah. But yeah, so I look at it as that, like, it's an expanding empire that's they're kind of on the outskirts of, and if you look at it, like, they're also kind of like new organizations. Like, so the they're not quite the Empire as we know them when the movies start, you know. So they're kind of just developing their strategies and such. They get much stronger, much better by season 2, which is really interesting because they bring in like so the guys above the people that you're watching in season 1 show up, and they're like super ruthless. So yeah. And so it's pretty interesting when that happens, because you've been like working with these characters or watching these characters, and you know, you're by the end you're like interested in them at least, and then there's like a new dynamic that causes them issues, and it's like, oh, okay, so there are definitely levels to the Empire.
There's levels to that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really cool that you get to see like essentially like the ground level, and then the show progressively gets you further along into like the higher echelons and stuff.
Yeah.
So
this is the show that the Star Wars fans have been waiting for.
You think? Well, I think if you're an actual Star Wars fan, yeah. But if
most people are.
Yeah. But if you came into Star Wars from like, I don't know, I'd say the prequels, if that's your favorite Star Wars, or if you like the new stuff, like then you're not actually a Star Wars fan, meaning like the OG, the original, because
suck it, Star Wars fans,
because those shows suck so bad. But they're all about the so that's a good example of the girl boss that has no flaws and has no consequences to their actions. That's everything other than Andor that Disney has made.
Yeah.
So
recently, right?
I mean, just entirely like since the beginning, anything that Disney has made, Star Wars or like Marvel related, the new, like, because it was Lucasfilm. I don't necessarily consider that Disney. Until George Lucas left.
They're still using that logo now.
Yeah, well, because they bought it, right? So he sold it, and ever since they really haven't made anything good. So
Lucas,
until Andor. Yeah, because people keep calling it an adult show, and I think it is, like, but I see it more as like a realistic Star Wars show. Like, this is like the stormtroopers are capable, like in all of the other Disney Star Wars, the stormtroopers can't hit anything even at close range.
Oh, they never hit it.
Yeah, like, and they die like for no reason. It's just like you look at them funny and they're like and like in Andor they're like what are you talking about?
Remember in Rogue One they were talking about the stormtroopers never hit anything. Just that guy never hit. What's her name?
Yeah.
What they were supposed to.
Yeah.
Or he might have liked her. Anyway.
But I mean, it's just like in this show, like in particular, season 2, the stormtroopers are like imposing. They're like they're scary.
Well, they should be, right?
Imagine, yeah, exactly. They should be.
You're an imperial. It'd be like the United States Army or the Russian Army. Like, you would think that those guys would be well trained.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is like they're like, my understanding, I could be wrong. I'm sure there's a Star Wars nerd out there that can correct me, but my understanding is they're all clones, and they're all like it's essentially like that movie Soldier with Kurt Russell, where they're born to be straight up killers. Like, and they don't know anything else. Like, all they know is war. Like, since they were a baby, and like that's my understanding of a stormtrooper, which is why they're just kind of like cannon fodder, right? You can just send a whole bunch of them out there because they're just all about like kill the target.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know the backstory. I never really got that into Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, the original ones were cool, and then once they went to episode 1, 2, and 3,
it was bad.
I think that was the time they lost me.
Yep.
Because I watched the original 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. Well, because the originals, it is like
80s, 90s.
It's capable characters. The dudes act like dudes. The women act like women. And it's like, and you know, they're all competent in their own ways, right? Like, you know, where you know, in particular, like when they're in that it's Han, Luke, and Leia, and they're in that area trying to figure out how to get out. And then she just grabs the blaster and like shoots a hole in the wall to get to the next room. It's like she doesn't sit there and like try to kill like a million dudes, but she does get them out of the situation. So it's like, you know, they're all useful, like together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good example of like, you know, how you can show her as a strong character, but not make her, you know, the dominant of all of them, right?
The dominatrix.
Yeah. So she, you know, she's obviously intelligent. She's super capable, quick thinker, and she doesn't buckle under pressure. But they're also there, so why not use them? You know,
so she's supposed to be a princess.
Yep.
But yet she does all this like kind of like tough stuff, you know?
Yeah, because she's the kind of like the leader of the resistance in a way, I guess. Yeah, maybe not initially, but eventually. But so she,
Leia, which has Leia in the name.
Yeah.
So she's got to get Leia.
Yeah. But it's like the back. I think the backstory is like her dad or something like that. Is yeah.
Her dad's Darth.
No, it's like I think
her other dad.
Yeah.
She has two dads.
Her two dads. Yeah.
Dude.
The guy that brings her up.
Yeah.
Stepdad. Yeah.
Because Luke's parents aren't even his parents. It's like his aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
But how come they don't know what the deal is with the dad? They never tell him.
What I want to say they did know. They just, you know, they were under.
Yeah, they just did. Yeah. Oh, your uncle. Oh, your Ben Kenobi and your dad have been playing with lightsabers.
Yeah.
Just like this fanciful thing. Yeah. Like it's like they're hippies in the 70s.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's working a corporate job.
Yeah.
Oh, your dad and your Uncle Ben, they were just like crazy hippies and they just smoked weed all day. Yeah. They're talking about the Force and all this. It's like that's kind of what it seems like.
They're doing cock magic.
Yeah, cock magic.
What is that? Spaceballs with the ring they had to put near their cock.
Oh, is it? Wait,
yeah, they had
ring?
They had the ring that was a lightsaber, but they always held it like right near the crotch.
Oh yeah, and it got tied up.
Yeah,
Schwartz. Well, it's because it was a Jewish theme.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's why you know this.
My Schwartz is bigger than yours.
Oh man, that and Blazing Saddles was pretty fucking good too.
Oh. That's one I have not watched on purpose because I don't want to start saying where the white women at.
Oh man, but yeah, this show. I don't think you haven't heard the speech yet, right? From
correct.
Yeah, so that's coming soon.
From that blonde lady.
No, from Stellan Skarsgård, the older man. That's like the one that's trying to get Andor to do his bidding.
Oh, wait, hold on. Speech.
So wait. So you probably haven't seen him yet. So he's coming.
No, I have seen him.
Yeah,
he talked him into going to another place.
Yeah. So
that's where they met the blonde chick on the other planet, which is like
Scotland right. Yeah.
Scottish Highlands.
But his epic speech is coming soon, and it's pretty goddamn good. Yeah, because
she's about to introduce him to the village and say it was all her idea.
Oh yeah.
That's where we are.
Yeah, which is you know, obviously for their own sake, that's really important for like the trust. Because
right, and you gotta, and this is again another nod to not telling the truth, but telling a story.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's also because you're you know, that's another good example of like how to actually have a strong you know, character, but you know, there's also someone pulling strings, you know. It's she's not just, you know, the best in the world and, you know, unstoppable and you know, on her own, independent, right? She needs help, right?
Yeah.
So that's an interesting. She's also kind of under the thumb as well, which is, I think she's an instrument in a way.
Everyone has a boss.
Yeah. But that guy is like super. Like, I mean, he's just a great actor. Like he's super believable.
And wasn't he the face of? Oh shoot, what is it? It's a men's clothing line.
Oh
No, never mind. That was the guy from the Bond series.
Oh yeah, he just kind of look like him a little bit.
Never mind. Never mind. It was. Damn, why can't I think of the name?
This guy,
men's clothing.
Boss, Hugo Boss.
No, it was like that though. It's up there or that top tier. It was not YSL. It was. Dude, I'm totally drawing a blank.
You're talking about.
I'll think of it later. It's men's clothing, but it's top tier kind of.
Oh no, Gabby Garcia is still there. Shit.
No.
You're talking about what the hell's his name?
The guy from was it? Shoot, we're in the desert. I can't remember what the name of the movie is.
Daniel Craig.
Well, Daniel Craig is Bond at that time, but it's one of the Bond villains where he
the villain
smacks him in the nuts with the with the thing, and he's like, "How do you know I'm not? I've never been with a man or something like that."
Yeah, and that's the beginning of the destruction of Bond. That's
he goes gay.
No, that's the it's literally the emasculation of Bond beginnings. Them crushing his balls. Yeah, that's the theory. Is they're systematically turning Bond into
and then there's the female Bond in the next one.
Yeah. So shit, what did I say? Now I will say though that the Casino Royale was a pretty good movie.
That was a movie, right?
Yeah.
Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It didn't pull up anything. It just shows him in clothes. GQ magazine, but that's it. But yeah, so I'm pretty interested in what you're gonna think about like as it goes forward. I definitely think season 1 gets significantly better towards the end. Season 2 is the same way. It just gets better towards the end. But season 2, like that was the one I was raving about. Where I was like, holy shit! Like the tension building. I don't remember exactly which episode, but eventually when that comes up, we definitely need to talk about that because that's like tension building storytelling, like that, like gold standard, and how to like for the audience, like keep them on the edge of their seat. And it's just like beat by beat, and you're just like, oh my god, because you just see everything kind of coming into place, and it's just like, oh no. Yeah, I'm glad it's interesting enough for you to get to episode 4, because that means you'll probably finish it. Yeah.
Well, you said it was so good, and you said I got to get through the first season anyway. So
yeah. Now, for the first season, probably the first I would say probably the first 4 episodes. Like now, it's going to start kicking off even a little bit better, and then season 2, it's about the same. About episode 4, and then it moves in the direction you want it to be going.
Oh, it seems fine now.
That's good.
I'm trying to think of that. Name brand. It's like a.
She's still trying to think of that.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't think of it. It's like.
Was it?
It's one of those.
Low.
Definitely. It's definitely a brand that you would.
I got low.
You have to be rich to afford because you're spending hundreds of dollars on every piece.
I got low. That's a brand that came up.
No. It's like 2 names, I think. For some reason, I think it's like 2 names, and I don't know why. I can't remember because it's right there.
Joseph Abound.
No, definitely not. Joseph Abound.
Abound, that's what it is. Yeah.
Abound or whatever.
Yeah.
Nope, not that one.
Okay, so
It's not Ralph
Bond,
Lauren. It's not.
villain,
Yeah. He's.
clothing
I saw it on Instagram. That's why I
company.
can't find it again because it was like an advertisement for like. It's not Boss. It's not YSL. It's not Michael
Yeah,
Kors. It's
I
not.
don't think I'm gonna find it because this is getting out of control.
But he was. Yeah, he was. Now it's gone on too long, and I shouldn't care. But
Yeah, because everything that comes up now is just they wear clothes in Bond movies. Interesting clothes. Yeah. So, but yeah, cool. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I think you're gonna like it as it moves forward. But I'm actually more excited about talking about season 2 with you. And see
so
what
I got to get through.
yeah.
I got to get through that.
Yeah. But yeah, because there's at least, I'd say there's at least 3 episodes like in the back half of season 2 that make all of it worthwhile.
Well, no, look forward to that, I guess.
Yeah, where it's like, like I said, they start closing the book on stuff, and it's like you're starting to get the answers for the questions you might have. Yeah, and I think there's only like a handful of things where I was like, that's really convenient, which is like when I watch like everything else Disney, Star Wars, it's like everything is convenient, and there's no answer to why it was convenient. It's like, and it's like that's okay if you only got like a couple of things that are convenient and you don't have an answer for it. It's just like I can't explain why it wouldn't be there, but it's like also doesn't make sense why it is there. But when it's like every 2 minutes you've got something convenient happening, that's when it's like fucking hell. Like you don't know what you're doing.
All right, so I found the name. It's Venya. For short.
Venya?
Venya, but it's Ermene.
Oh, Zegna. There you go.
Gildo and Ermene
Dildo?
Zenya.
Dildo. Goddamn! That's a $10,000 suit.
Look at Xenia clothes, and you'll see he's probably at least last month he was on the Instagram. But yeah, Xenia is the name.
I don't know. I'm looking at the $10,290 suit.
Ermene.
Jesus.
Ermene Gildo. Ermene Gildo.
Dildo. Ermene Dildo. Dildo. There are many dildos in our stores.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Continue without accepting. I don't want the cookies.
Nope.
Yeah,
I looked up. I googled.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah.
I looked up. I googled most expensive men's brand. I was like, I knew I'd see it, but Xenia was funny. Like the first. Let's see. There was. Like, it was like
I was way off.
It was Brioni, Tom Ford, Gucci, and then Xenia was number 4, and then followed by Saint Laurent.
Dang, there's like a higher level.
Canali,
number 4.
Dior, Prada. What was that? Brunello Cucinelli.
I'm sorry, I can't do Prada. Like, there's no fucking. Even if I had the money, that sounds gay. Like to me, that's like a women's.
Ralph Lauren Purple Label. Purple Label is supposed to be really nice, but Ralph Lauren stuff is almost like.
Yeah, but if you,
I don't think it. I will say, looking at any of the old brands from the '80s, like Abercrombie and Fitch.
I gotta be honest. I didn't even know that existed until high school.
Tommy Hilfiger. Well, yeah, Abercrombie, I think, was from the 60s or the 70s.
Jeez.
These are all older companies. And like, well, if you think of like, what's another one like really popular? But they used to make really good stuff that was solid. But now everything's gone the way of relying on the heritage brand.
Well,
they've gotten cheap with everything.
The way I look at it is, if I can get it at a Ross, then it's not good enough.
Yeah, because you're not going to see Xenia at a Ross.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to see a Xenia $10,000 suit at a Ross.
No way.
Unless there's a pretty big.
You might find it at a Goodwill, but on a lucky day.
Yeah.
but you're definitely not finding it at Ross.
I mean, there's ways to shop smarter, but I mean, here's the question: are some of these designer brands actually worth it? And you would really have to know the industry. I think you have to know how they source, and you'd have to know how to look for quality in the garment. And I don't really know that, so I couldn't tell.
Yeah,
The average person probably can't tell.
I'm not a fag, so you know.
Whoa, dude, whoa! But you do want to look good, so
Yeah.
you gotta, every guy.
Isn't that what straight eye for the queer eye for the straight guy is for?
Yeah, I never watched that show.
Well, you just got to get a girlfriend at that time. That's all.
Oh,
They all watch them.
They watch that stuff, but that doesn't
That
matter.
was it RuPaul's drag race?
Drag race. Yeah, I will say Stephanie used to watch stuff that I never watched.
Of course. Like
she would watch stuff, but I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't watch it just because she was watching it.
Because I'm a man.
Like, that's gay. I'm not watching that. Yeah. I need to be mowing the lawn. I need to be fixing a car. I need to be going to the gym.
Getting greased up.
Yeah. Here's what you got to do. When a girl turns on that gay shit, she says, "Oh, sit down and watch this drama with me. Watch this serial killer movie." Be like, "Babe, I got work to do. I got to go."
No, I got
work on yourself.
I got it even better.
Work on your lawn. Do something.
I get even better. And when I start watching that serial killer shit, break up with him, because that's a psychopath in the making.
Well,
she's making plans. She's taking notes.
Well, who is it? I mean, there's plenty of people that say this, but I think most recently I heard Andrew Tate say, women want drama. They're going to get drama in a relationship one way or another. And if they're the dramatic type, they will create the drama if you don't. So that's why some of those girls work better if you're kind of cheat on them every once in a while.
Jesus Christ.
You kind of got to be a jerk to them every once in a while. You got to be mean. You got to be somewhat emotionally distant. And this really only works with women who are unhealthy emotionally. And then you get a healthy woman, you don't have to worry about any of this stuff.
Well, if you get a healthy woman, you don't need a garage anymore. you can work on your car in the driveway.
Yeah, you don't have to sleep on the couch. Well, you should never be sleeping on the couch. Here's another rule: never sleep on the couch. If you run that house and you're the man of the house, you are never going to be relegated to the couch.
What if I like taking naps? Oh, okay. I got you.
Well, you can take a nap, but if she's mad at you, there's no reason why you shouldn't sleep in your own bed. You pay the bills, you sleep in that gosh darn bed, okay? And if she's mad and she doesn't like you, she can sleep on the couch.
Preach, brother. Preach, brother.
That's what I told my ex. I mean, I told her, I was like, look, there's two things. I'm not sleeping out on the couch ever, and we're never getting a minivan.
Those are my two buckaroos. Like anything else, ass play,
anything goes.
All that stuff's fine.
Anything goes. Yeah.
You want to just put the tip in? That's fine. But no minivan and no.
Yeah, I told her. I said, I'm a car guy. I'm never getting a minivan. And I said, this is my house and I pay the bills.
Yeah.
And I'm never sleeping on the couch. Like, I don't care if we're mad.
Oh man.
But I'm not. You're not going to kick me out of my own bed.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
This is my side. That's the dog's side. You sleep on the couch.
Well, yeah, no, the dog wasn't in the bed. But yeah. So I mean, you gotta have a boundary. There needs to be clearly defined gender roles, and if you don't already know what those are, then maybe you're not ready to get married. I will say that, because once you do, and the woman's gonna push boundaries, I think, regardless of how healthy and how well she's raised. That's any human being. They're gonna push boundaries.
Yep.
So if you're not ready for that and you don't know what you want and you don't have a clear boundary in your mind, then you may get pushed too far.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's too late.
Well, I think that's probably just the most important thing in general. is you got to know what you're comfortable with and not comfortable with, and if you don't know that, you probably shouldn't be in a relationship yet, for one.
Well,
And you damn sure shouldn't be getting married.
The reason why people accept substandard behavior is because in part because their childhood, right? So they were treated one way by their parents, or their parents set a bad example.
But there is a like I do get like where that would be like the start or the problem, and maybe like where, but it's the thing that I keep noticing is when they try to like fix it, or supposedly fix it, like there's no blame on the person, meaning no responsibility on the person. That it's like, oh, your parents were the problem, they brought you up this certain way. It's like, well, maybe that's how you got here, but that's not why you're here. And I think it's like it's a disservice to people that are in those situations. Is like, typically the answer is you have childhood trauma. It's like, well, how do they fix that? Like, you're not answering the question. You're not helping the situation. Like, what you're doing is you're putting the blame on the parents, which probably, but we need to put the responsibility on the person to, okay, we're sorry that happened to you, this is what we're going to do to fix it. And it never goes that way. It's always about, let's talk about your feelings, and it's like, well, that's not going to get me anywhere. What's going to get me somewhere is talking about my feelings, writing it down, and then answering how I'm going to fix those things.
It all starts with the first sign, which is either something doesn't go the way you want it to, or you're unhappy, right?
Yep.
Why does any change begin? Why do people make a change? Because they don't like what's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an emotional response. So then you have to move to, maybe that's your awareness. Maybe you have lived a life so long, bad examples, mistreatment, whatever. That's all you know. So maybe that's all you know, and that you don't know it's wrong because you don't know any different.
Yep.
But somehow there's a contrast that forms, like a difference of other people's lives, your life. Maybe you see movies, maybe whatever. Somehow it's triggered, and you start to want something different. You start to question things, right? So you might be like, well, how do people escape the trap of like that Dave Chappelle show? Can black people rise up and overcome?
Yeah.
And then the response was, I don't know, can they? And he's like, that is correct. Well, they can, absolutely.
But it is that is the question, and that's the response that people typically get. Is I don't know, can you? Like, well,
that means, like, number one, do you want to? And number two, is the system going to help you? And I think the system is not.
Well, I think that's part of the problem is you're lost, and so someone says they have an answer, but really they don't. What they have is an ear, which is useful, but it's like I don't know. You go to a therapist or something like that, and it's like, I did that to try to figure out fix the marriage, that kind of shit. And it's like, and the whole time I just kept like, one, I felt like I couldn't, like I felt like I wasn't being honest, like on purpose, and I was like, not correcting that. But also like when I was getting the responses, it was like, well, how did that make you feel? It's like, well, that's not helping me. Like, we're just compounding the journey of this answer that I'm giving you. It's like, it's like we're not actually like getting to a stopping point to where, we're not hitting a wall to where it's like, okay, now we need to break through that wall.
We need to take action.
Yeah, exactly.
How do we change things?
Exactly.
Otherwise, we just talk about what was.
Exactly. And like, I didn't find it useful at all, because it's like, you when you watch the movies, it's like, that's exactly what it's like, where it's like, okay, now we're making progress. We broke through some walls. It's like, no, we didn't. We might have broken through some we might have opened some doors, but we didn't close those doors. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like it is helpful at the beginning, but it's not helpful in the long run. Like, you need to examine those things, and I feel like at least in my experience, what little that I have with it, but also I see it on television. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense, because that's how I went when I did it. Like, so it must be pretty common where they just keep saying, well, how did you make that, or how does that make you feel, or you know, and then what do you think you should do about it? It's like, well, you know, those are the questions I don't need you for anymore. You know, at that point, it's like, you're asking questions I should be asking myself. And, you know, that's I guess, you know, in a way that I did get something out of therapy.
Well, a lot of people,
but that's
don't
what I
wanna
got out of
change
it.
their life.
Yeah.
So they're stuck in a perpetual circle until they do want to make a change.
Yeah.
Because think about someone who's 600 pounds.
Yeah.
They're comfortable with that life.
Yep.
Their decisions have gotten them there. So just like any other relationship dynamic, you might say, oh, why am I in a relationship where I'm not I'm not winning? I'm giving to the other person, but maybe they're never giving back. It's like, well, you're accepting that on some level. You just don't know it yet.
Yep.
Like, your standards are low and you don't love yourself. So you're willing to accept less than what you think, you like, oh, well, I want this. And you can tell because your feelings, right?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Right. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it makes me feel like I'm giving constantly and I never get back. Well, it's like, did you ever tell your partner this? Well, no, I just expect them to know. It's like, well, that's number one. You haven't communicated.
Yeah.
Because you think if you communicate, then it's going to push them away, and you're afraid you'll lose them or something, or whatever the reason is, right?
Well, you know, the picture on the screen is case in point.
Boom.
If you feel like a man, you want to be a man, you can be a man. You can be a woman.
Put that full screen on screen.
I would, but I can't quite figure out how to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, how do you pinch and zoom? Don't you have a Mac?
Yeah, but it, like, the program I'm using, I got it to work one time, but I can't figure out how to do that now.
Yeah, we need full display.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to see all those. I want to see the vascularity. She's hard lit, man.
Yeah.
That's hard lighting.
Dude, just
Repeat.
Gabby Garcia.
Ooh, looks like Gavin Garcia.
Gavin Garcia, yeah.
Gabriel Garcia.
Yeah, Gabriel Garcia, yeah.
Jerry Garcia.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's funny. I actually think that's what I typed in first was Gabriel, which is why all the dudes came up first.
See, it's hard to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, sir. I mean,
she looks like American Gladiator, but the dudes.
Oh yeah. Oh man, you loved Ice, didn't you?
Dude, oh, Ice is hot as fuck, man. Let me pull up Ice, man. She turned out to be a lesbian, so it's like very depressing to find that out.
Your dreams were fulfilled and crushed at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah. Ice. Let's see. Ice. American Gladiators. There we go. There she is. Woo! Ice.
Nice.
She still looks good, man.
Yeah, even in her 60, but she's 60 now.
Yeah, I'll pull up that picture in a minute, but
She probably has to be, because back then, like, we were just teenagers watching that.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. This is
Imagine meeting your hero.
Yeah.
They said never meet your heroes, but in this case,
I will absolutely meet my hero in this case.
To make an exception.
There's Ice. Try to get a close up of her face, though.
I looked her up after we talked about that last time.
Yeah, she's cute, man. Let's see. I'll get a new picture. Here we go.
A nude photo?
Nude photo. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get a nude photo.
Cool, bro.
Let's see. Maybe now. All right, now. Yeah, there she is. She's got the typical.
She still works out, huh?
Yeah, she's still in good shape. This is just we'll get a close up of her face, just so show that she is actually attractive. So that's Ice.
Yeah, her eyes are.
No.
It's a lot of makeup, but the eyeliner.
Yeah.
She has blue eyes. Eyes blue, if you will.
It's like, oh, I never noticed your eyes.
Yeah, I was always staring at your biceps.
Yeah. Let's see. Where is? See, I don't know how old this picture is. But... oh, this is roughly recent.
Find her on IMDb or something.
Here we go. God damn it, man! I don't know why
Usually
it keeps putting all these pictures really small.
Hmm.
And I don't know how to fix it. Like, shouldn't be doing that, but that's not it. Cancel that. Here we go. This is what she looks like now. Or sort of now.
Let's see it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hard to tell. Well, it's such a small picture.
I know. I can't fix it. And
I'm like 10 feet away.
how do I fucking fix that, man?
Yeah. How is that area determined?
Here we go. Hang on. Let's.
Okay, you can move the display area.
Yeah.
But...
here we go.
oh, there you go. Scaling. Oh, okay.
No. Why did it do that? It changed.
No, that's good.
Hang on.
You're getting there.
Oh.
How did you get that?
There we
Dropped
go.
in like that.
And
oh, okay.
boom. There we go.
Dynamic.
There you go.
Cropping. Okay. All right. Looks like she's
in pretty good shape. Yeah.
Definitely not a woman you might approach on the street, but
that's very funny.
These guys that got those Google or those Meta glasses now.
Meta glasses?
The Ray-Bans that have the video camera.
Oh, jeez.
So they recorded their phone or whatever, obviously they're recording.
Yeah.
They just go up to girls and talk to them so you can see the point of view, like street riz. And this one dude is approached these bodybuilders at this convention. He's like, "Oh man, you're super cute." He's like, "You think we could arm wrestle?" She's like, "Oh, I could beat you." He's like, "Do you think you could bench me?" She's like, "Yeah, I could bench you." He's like, "Yeah, but you're super cute." He's like, "You want to get a room or you want to go?" And she kind of blows him off, but yeah, because obviously she's not attracted to him. But
there you go.
You gotta give them something. Sometimes persistence will pay off.
Yeah.
A woman is just on the borderline of finding you attractive, and the more confidence you have will push her over the edge.
Well,
so women can fall in love. Men, I don't know that they're the same way exactly.
Well,
we
if
fall
you
in
got
love with our eyes,
exactly. I was gonna say we fall in love real quick.
So it's pretty much it's a pass fail basically, as the Army would say. It's a pass fail. For that.
Yeah.
It's a go no go when you meet her. It's like, is she cute or not?
Yeah.
And then we'll see what's the personality like, and there's potential for adjustment later. But women, I think, as long as she's relatively attracted to you, then you have a chance. But that's the difference between the cat calls and the whistling. It's okay on the street if it's a cute guy, but it's not okay if you're ugly. So that's what guys don't understand. Is the number one fundamental understanding has to be women are either attracted to you or they're not, and then from there, you can either move up or down the scale. You can screw it up, or you can be successful.
Well, one of the best ways to do that is to get really good at cock magic.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Now you see it. No, you don't. The other one that was funny too, because I think it's all in the same season 18, when they were talking about the gluten crisis, where it's gluten was making people's dicks shoot off.
Shoot off?
Yeah, it was like a bottle rocket. It was like it was like eating too much gluten.
Wow. Man, they really come up with some crazy stuff.
But it's so funny because it's how people are panicking about gluten, and it's that's exactly how they do that episode. It's just
Here's the problem. Look at her face. It's so bright. And
Oh
her
yeah,
body's so tan.
yeah, I know,
Her
right?
arms light. There's like different colors going on.
Yeah, I don't know
So I
what's
don't
going on
know
there.
if she keeps the spray tan away from her face so she can put makeup on, but that's my guess. Is
Yeah,
women
yeah,
are like,
yeah. Because back then they were
ooh,
doing the tan in a can, right? That's what they're doing.
they would. I mean, they're airbrushed now. I think.
Yeah, now it's a lot like more precise.
Yeah.
But they back then they had like
Yeah.
it was like in a can or something.
Who knows? I don't know. It's crazy to think, but like speaking of makeup, it's like women wear all this makeup, and
Well, thank God, because when you see them
it's a
without,
lifelong. The cosmetics industry has struck a gold line.
oh yeah, for
I don't
sure.
know if it's always been the case with women; they've always done their makeup, but even you'll see this as you continue to read the Bible. It talks about um, makeup in the Bible, so
Really? So back then,
you know the strange thing. And even the Book of Enoch, I think, talks about
yeah.
it. One of those books that.
Well,
Well,
I think I'm up to where they're talking about their man servants and women servants.
yeah, but you're still in which book?
Still in Genesis.
Kings. Oh,
Yeah.
Genesis.
Yeah, well, because
Oh,
I'm going. I guess they call them chapters, but I can't. I think that's what we call it, like
yeah.
chapter by
I
chapter.
listened
But they're like
to
really
which
short,
version?
you know. So they're pretty sure it's a King James version.
King James. Okay, so because there's like tons of.
Yeah.
There's even like.
Because
I don't know if
when I
this is
looked
true,
when I looked it up, it said that one was well, the one that whatever version I got was like the closest
right
to the original meaning.
as far as we know.
Yeah.
I
But
would like to
but it's also in
read
English,
the
so
Ethiopian Bible.
right, yeah.
Apparently the books were not removed from that.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
The Ethiopian Bible has books that our canon does not.
yeah, and so that's kind of like I'm going to go down that route and like just start grabbing all the stuff. I'll probably be on a watch list or something like why are you picking up all these religious textbooks? It's like, well, because I'm interested in the how similar are they? Like what are the values that they have in here? Where do people go wrong when they read these?
If you take a theology class, you probably learn about all different.
Yeah, that's a
types
good
of
point. Yeah.
Because my coworker did that, and we talked about it years ago. He was going through it,
Yeah.
and he had only, of course, been in the Christian church, so he never saw another perspective. He was diehard Christian church, and I'm like, man, I was like, there's a reason why I left the church. I'm not saying you have to, but some of the things don't really make sense, you know.
You should come over here to Scientology. That's
well, yeah, I wasn't a Scientologist, although I did work for them at one point. I was like, hey, I started looking into other religions, and it kind of seems like, there may be some truth over here and this other religion too. So it's not 100% like this one's right, but
yeah.
there's something to it, Like
well,
applies.
there's at least some kind of like bare minimum. There's definitely some values to learn in there, and then probably there's some truth and some like something somewhere someone did something similar to what they're talking about, which is why it's in there in the first place. So I mean, it's that's why I find it fascinating, because I'm not trying to get to that stuff. I'm like, what is the stuff that we've kind of found some evidence for, and then what are the things that we just aren't looking for? And I'm gonna go down that route when I'm done and just be like,
oh man, Ezekiel, was it Ezekiel or something?
Yeah, that's the one with the wheel, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that because I listened to that last year,
Mm-hmm.
I re-listened to that book on audiobook, of course, and I was like, because it was following I don't know if it was again another Joe Rogan episode, but it's
of
like,
course,
listen to that and then think about, like, try not to think about UFOs or aliens. It's like there's no freaking way that you're not going to think like, okay, this is definitely a technology.
Yeah.
Because all right, so go through that. When the ship leaves or launches, he's got to shield himself. He's got to hide from the blast.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a nuclear blast. I don't know if it's a rocket, whatever.
Well, I mean,
but like they're away from whatever
that hot fire, son.
down. Yeah, it's Dylon.
Yeah,
Dylon.
Dylon and Dylon.
Dylon. Yeah, we'll spit hot pie.
You're too
You know,
close,
some of
man.
this hot pie.
Yeah.
Are you gonna make this record, or are you gonna
Oh
make
man,
this record?
you remember
So
that whole thing, Crossfire? You remember that fucking thing? Crossfire.
you don't get caught up in the crossfire.
Crossfire.
Yeah.
God, I love the commercials back then.
Damn, it was so crazy.
Yeah.
These
It
kids,
was just like this stupid little tiny
kids,
game.
a little tiny table
Yeah.
in this arena. It was so
It made it
dedicated.
so awesome though. Like,
Yeah, and then you'd play it for 5 minutes and be done.
yeah, it was like epic.
And it would sit in your room for years and collect dust.
It's like basically everything was like you were basically a Goonie all the time as a kid, like back then.
Yeah.
Because you could like run around outside, nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, your parents like call you in. Oh, make sure when the street light. Well, if it gets dark, come in.
well, I mean,
Dark, yeah.
you weren't calling. Like, dude, the fuck are you gonna get a phone?
Yeah. No, you were in the street. Your mom yelled for you.
Yeah.
Or your dad. My dad would
Yeah.
whistle.
Yeah.
He would whistle, and he said, "Oh, you didn't hear me when I was whistling." Like he would do this, real loud whistle.
Oh, yeah.
He could whistle like loud, and we were supposed to come in from all
He's
corners of the earth.
He's like Gandalf
Right.
whistling for Shadowfax.
And we were over at our neighbor's house inside. I was playing video games. He's like, I don't hear your whistling. But he would sometimes call the neighbor and say, hey, if Ben's there, can you send him home?
Yeah, on the rotary
Yeah.
dial.
Yeah, no, seriously, we had a rotary phone.
Everybody did, man.
We had we had one, but it was like the old style just because it was old. Remember the house?
Yeah. Oh,
that I
yeah.
grew up in, that big house?
Well, we had the first one was on the wall, and
Really?
and then
A rotary phone on the wall?
no, it was the first one that we had on the wall was the where you had the really long cord. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could
Yeah.
walk around, but then my at my grandmother's
Go
house,
around the corner.
she had the rotary, like the old one, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
Which was fucking awesome. Like I used to just make phone calls just because, like, like,
Yeah, rotation. Yeah. You can feel the resistance.
yeah. Like it feels like you're getting shit done. You
It's amazing that.
Like we need to go
That's how
back.
they
I
did it
want my cell phone to
back
be
then.
like that on the back. Like when I call somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then you got to memorize a phone number too. Like I don't memorize any phone numbers there.
Dude, I remember in middle school, I had like 20 phone numbers remembered
yeah, it's insane. Like,
because I would call, you,
Yep.
Matt, Pat.
yep.
I would call like other people in class, and I swear I had a list of phone numbers. I had it written down, and I would call them and say, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And I could remember the numbers. That's
Yeah.
the crazy part.
The fucking Rolodex. Remember those?
I mean, it was at least 15 numbers, and you think that's not a lot, but
Oh no, that is a lot.
Try and remember 15 different phone numbers now.
Yeah, try to remember your own phone number now.
I mean, I
Just
got
one,
my own
just
number.
one phone number. That's all
The
you
only
need.
numbers I remember are my address, my
Yeah.
phone number, and my social security number. That's all I need
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
I don't even know my driver's license number by heart.
Dude, when some people like they don't know their social security number, I'm like, is it because of the military? Like, or is it
absolutely.
okay? Because I'm like,
Yeah, 'cause
like I remember back in the day, just people knew what that was like. So like,
well,
but maybe
yeah,
I guess
okay,
also
yeah.
the generation before us was
Well,
like,
that's not true.
so-
Okay, so I do know my DOD ID number as well.
okay.
There's that.
Yeah.
So I know 4 numbers. My address, my social, my DOD ID,
Yeah.
and my phone number. And that's about it. I don't need. The phone. Basically, if you become a cyborg and you get a chip installed in your brain, you're not going to need a calculator anymore.
Yeah.
You're not going to need Google anymore.
Yeah.
You're not going to need to remember anything. It's all accessible.
It's, until you get hit with an EMP and it's fucking.
Yeah. See. Exactly.
Well, that's another
Yeah.
reason why I went back to because I used to do all my note taking and my scheduling. I tried to do everything on my phone, and I cut that out and I went back to like a planner.
Yeah.
It's just tangible. Plus, you get that connection of crossing things out. Like that's a big
Yeah.
deal for me. Feels better. I've got a calendar on the fucking wall now. I went with the Galaxy Space, the Nebula calendar. you know, because everything else is fucking
12 months.
gay as hell.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, I just wanted a manly calendar. The manliest one I could find was the galaxies.
You didn't get a fireman calendar, or
that's what I should get. The swimsuit fireman calendar.
Manly, but
Yeah.
somebody mistakes what you're saying. Man, maybe you need a Sports Illustrated.
Yeah. I want one with it's got Ice for January and December, and all the other ones in between. Gabby Garcia. I start the year off really well, and then I gotta work my way to December.
Oh yeah, working my way back to you, babe.
Oh man, yeah, it was crazy. So thankfully I like space. So I'm interested in that. So I'm okay with that. It's cool to look at those. I'm excited when I flip to the next month. Yeah. But I still cross out. Like I do the X like when the day's done. So every morning, like that's like one of the things it's guaranteed I get to check that off the list is another day done.
Another win.
Yeah.
We're counting down the days.
Yeah.
40. 41, 42, 43, 44 years.
I'm gonna see if anybody's gonna hit us up in the chat. It looks like we got some viewers.
Oh yeah, how many? No, it's on. I'm watching the thing too on my.
Yeah, but I think
TV.
there's at least one or two. I can't really tell, but we're talking about whatevers. We're just going on. But yeah, man, I miss the I just miss the old like where we used to like watch TV shows, but like on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, and you had to catch it like at the time that it came on, so there's like whenever you felt like it, you had to like sit.
I don't know if Pat ever listened to this episode, but
yeah.
I used to call him after school.
Mm-hmm.
I would call Pat, and we would talk like during the Star Trek, I believe.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
We would watch Star Trek: The Next
Generation. Yeah.
On the phone.
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, are you gonna watch it?" Yeah.
The beginning of like before YouTube, you had to do it on the phone.
And I don't know how. I mean, it eventually ended, obviously, because we don't still do it.
Yeah.
It was just a funny thing to do to think back. It's like no cell phones, no, the internet wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
That we knew of.
I used to do that.
Programming.
I used to do that with Seinfeld.
Yeah.
So it was me and Joey would watch Seinfeld on the phone. Me and Don would watch Seinfeld on the phone too.
Same time, Pat and I were watching.
Maybe.
Maybe. This was middle school. It was like I met Pat.
Oh no, this would have been in high school. Yeah. So
5th grade.
Because this would have been in high school though. Oh yeah, because we met him in. I think
I met Pat in.
I remember.
Pat was new.
I think we met him I met him in the line. Like we were waiting for something. And I remember he was the first kid I saw that had an earring.
Yep. Yeah, because you and I were in Miss Kruger's class.
Yep.
And he was new. He was a new student, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But you and I sat next to each other.
Yep. Because I remember you had your Legos. If I remember correctly, you had a.
Why did I bring those to school?
I don't know, but I remember a space shuttle Lego set.
No way, the Space Police.
Is that what it was?
That's what it probably was.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
I did have a Space Police set of Legos. It was like one of their ships or something.
That's what I remember.
There was a base. I think I had the base and the ship and
yeah.
Lego had released this Space Police. Instead of having red and blue lights, they had like green lights or something.
Yeah. That's what I remember. That sealed our friendship.
I had to class. Like, how the hell did I get that to school without breaking it?
Yeah, I know, right? Pieces. Jesus, yeah.
I must have protected it in my backpack. Or something.
That was the beginning of your care for vehicles.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's funny that you say that because I look back to my first vehicle and I didn't really have the knowledge of how to. I just knew that I wanted to. Because remember I had the Swinger.
Oh yeah, that beautiful fucking car.
So that was kind of a cool car, and
Yeah.
actually looking back, it wasn't that bad. It was in pretty good shape actually.
Let me pull
um, Dodge Dart 73 Dodge Dart Swinger
swing 7.
coupe. So it was a two-door in green,
Oh yeah, cool.
my favorite color.
Let me see if I can
So
find a green.
we didn't. Yeah, I was just like,
There.
I want to be able to keep this car clean or whatever, but I just didn't know how. Well, of course, it took me 15 years to learn
I think this
how
is
to
probably
detail a car or whatever.
this is probably. God damn it! Those stupid small pictures. Like, why won't it get bigger?
That's what she said. That's what she
Yes, I figured it out. Okay,
heard
Got
that
it.
before. No, I'm kidding.
figured it out. I think this is the closest to. Might actually be.
Because you remember my car, right?
Yeah, I
I
think.
have a green vinyl top and the
Yeah, I
green
think
exterior with the green interior, like it was triple
Oh,
green.
this is close to it. So we'll have to-
Yes, yeah, not those. I actually had those wheels in the garage. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Same front end.
Hey, wait.
Is it a two-door?
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to.
You have to shrink it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some finagling here.
Interesting.
There we go. All right, there we go. We'll get that working. Oop. Beautiful. There we go.
You got to get the rest of it. Where is it? There it is. Okay. There you go. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
That was it, man.
that is a beautiful car, man.
Yeah, and it was that's yeah, I just had different wheels, but pretty much, yeah, same thing.
Yeah, but everything else
Same
looks
color.
similar though.
Yeah.
I think that's basically the car that you had.
Yeah. My wheels were a little different, like I said, but
Mhm.
still, yeah, I just remember like not really knowing how, but thinking like, oh, how do I fix this,
Yeah.
or how do I clean this, or how do I do this? You know, and my dad was able to teach me
Mhm.
maintenance, like basic maintenance and stuff. So I could
Yeah.
do that.
Man, I would totally love to have a car like that. Like now.
I kind of wish I had that same. I mean, if you could just put that car in a time capsule,
Yeah.
because it wasn't. I don't think there was. Well, you know, to be fair, there might have been some rust on it,
Hmm.
but I don't know if it. I mean, if it was a Florida car its whole life, it probably shouldn't really be rusty,
Yeah.
you know. But I think there was a couple spots where it was um, commonly because they had the vinyl,
Yeah.
where the quarter panel rear
Oh
of the
yeah.
top, there's a weld joint there, and a lot of times that would develop rust.
Well, this
There may
one's
have been some
well taken
molding
care of
underneath
right
the
here.
vinyl. Yeah, that one was like pretty good. So yeah, that was it. That was my high school pimp ride
Yeah.
for years, and then
Yeah.
I got the Mustang, and then I got the another Mustang, and I got a M3, and I got a Subaru STI. Then I got another M3, and then I got what? I got the truck, and now I have this one,
Yeah.
the SUV. So my first truck and first SUV ever in West Virginia.
Awesome. Well, just FYI, you can expect to pay around $8,000 for a Dodge Dart.
Oh wow! I think we paid 2,500 for it back then.
Damn.
Less than 3,000 for that, and it had like what 60,000-70,000 miles on it. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't even really high mileage for
Were you-
that time.
Which one did your dad had a Dodge Dart, but he had the
He had a 69. Same thing.
that was with
Two-door.
the
Yeah, if you Google 69 Dodge Dart, and his was blue. He had a Dodge Dart GT.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah, because it wasn't the same exact like
It was not the same because I had a Swinger, which I don't know what that really meant back then. I think it was just a trim level like everything, but
so
I thought it was cool that it said Swinger.
yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, because his like that looked like a little bit beefier, but
He was a little more sporty. The body was a little different. He had a floor shifter instead of a column like mine.
okay.
But the GTs had the floor mounted shifter, and it was. I think I just was a
So
little sportier.
his was silver,
His was blue, light blue.
light blue. Okay, so that's probably this
Yeah,
one.
so 69 Dodge Dart GT in blue, and you'll
Okay,
probably
so
see
that's
something
probably
pop up.
this one. Dang, look at these rims, bro. Badass looking car.
Rims, bruh.
Boop. There it is. That might not exactly be it, but
Yeah, that's actually pretty close to his blue. Now he didn't have those exact rims, right? There was not
yeah, those
colored
I don't.
key to the car.
I'm
That
pretty
would have been
sure.
cool, but he actually had rims on it like the ones you showed on the green car.
Oh,
The
okay. Yeah, yeah,
Krager SS rims
yeah.
from, I guess Krager was the company. Krager made those very popular classic car rims. But yeah, that's his was like, and he had that blue interior,
Hmm.
so it was kind of again blue on blue. Like
Well, they
for
got.
whatever reason,
Oh, hang
in the
on.
'70s they like to match the interior with the exterior. Nowadays they don't do that, but back then anything goes. Any color is not impossible.
Well, just FYI, there is a chart. So
Hmm. Chart for what?
that has like the differences between the Dodge Darts. So there's a
Oh
Dodge
yeah!
Dart.
Whoa!
There's a GTS.
Uh,
There's a Dart Custom. GT.
GTS
Yeah. The Swinger
Swinger.
340, and then a Swinger, and a
I
Dart
must have just had
and
the
a Dart
Swinger. I have
sedan.
a 340.
Yeah. So there's the coupe, and then there's the sedan.
Yeah, the sedans don't look the same, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So
The GTS.
yeah. Let me
The Dodge Demon was the other one. The Dodge Demon was like had the same front end, but a different rear end almost.
yeah. Let me pull this. I'm gonna.
And actually, remember Donnie? He had one in
Oh
high
yeah,
school.
that's right.
He had a Demon,
Yeah.
and not the Donnie H, not the other Donnie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to say the name, full name.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty distinct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he had a Demon. It was kind of close to because we had talked about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I have the same family of car. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to pull this up. Send you that list thing so you can check it out. 69 typed in.
But yeah, I wanted one that had like a 318, or I wanted one that had a V8 in it. But truthfully, I drove one with a 318, and it just didn't seem that fast.
Oh really?
It really wasn't like blowing your socks off. It was a little more power, but I mean, it had a V8, but it was like
Mm.
barely a
Oh, this
V8.
this is the brochure, by the way, which is funny. So I'm gonna send that to your WhatsApp there.
So
Just
yeah, I
because.
think to get any power, you needed a 340, you needed a 440, you need the 392. You had to have one of those bigger engines to
Mhm.
get any power out of it. But yeah, anything on the small end because the slant six was in mine and my dad's, and those engines, like if you worked on them, you could get a little power out, but like pretty much it was like 100, couple hundred horsepower,
Yeah,
maybe.
but I mean, it's about just being a good looking car, though. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was
the
cruising.
bench seats and
Yeah.
like I just love how you like slide into those old cars.
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
just slide into it. It's like now I gotta
You know, a lap belt.
awkwardly get into my car,
There was like, I had a lap belt. I didn't even have to put the shoulder harness on.
Mhm. Oh yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was an
That's right.
option
Yeah,
because it clipped in. It was like
yeah,
an additional thing.
yeah. And it was like at a certain age of the car, like legally it wasn't a problem.
Yeah, and mine only had one rear view mirror on the driver's side. I didn't even have a passenger side rear view mirror because it wasn't legal. It wasn't required back in
Yeah,
the '70s. It was just
yeah,
one. You need a one mirror. You need a rear view mirror, and that's it.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's a
you
cool
know,
looking fucking car, man.
there was no backup sensors. There was no backup camera. There was no nothing was digital, of course. No CD player.
Yeah,
It was a eight. It was either an 8 track or a cassette
yeah.
that was in there.
Well, it seems like there's
Original.
a lot of these still out there that you could get. So just FYI, it's
Yeah,
there.
you can. I mean, I've looked at that, like trying to
Hmm.
reclaim my youth in some
Yeah,
way
yeah.
by like trying to go back and get a cool car from
Oh man,
my
I'd
childhood,
have to get
but
that Mercury Cougar. Goddamn,
that would probably be real easy to get
the
now.
'85 Mercury Cougar,
The big
luxurious interior.
50
yeah,
50 HO.
yeah,
The high HO stands for high output.
yeah.
But that's funny because that high output was like another 5 horsepower over the regular one. It's
yeah,
amazing how they, oh, the high output version. It's like that's all marketing BS.
yeah, yeah.
50 ho. But yeah, my Mustang said that. My '95 Mustang said 50 HO. It's like,
Five
are
oh
you kidding
ho.
me? This thing makes like 295 horsepower. It's loud ass V8. But I
yeah,
could slide around corners and stuff.
yeah.
I got in trouble.
Well, I mean, it's so like heavy, just one sided.
Yeah, crazy
Yeah,
how barbaric things were back then. It's
yeah,
like now everything's quad cam, fuel injection, aluminum block, turbo. I mean, everything's like
yeah.
really refined. You're getting a 2 liter turbo that makes twice the horsepower of my 5 liter V8 back then. Like sometimes more than that, but like twice. So it's half the size, double the power. It's like crazy.
Yeah. Well,
Because
I'm gonna
100
pull up the
horsepower per liter is usually pretty good.
I'm gonna I'm gonna pull up the Mercury Cougar.
You got to do it. 85. The
Uh,
white with the red
oh yeah,
interior.
white, yeah,
It's got to be white.
white, yeah. There it is. It's pretty close. It didn't have the black back on the top, but
Is that a vinyl cover? I can't see it yet.
I'm trying to find one that's.
Is yours? Oh, excuse me.
So
Damn.
that's 85. Oh, here's 85. Yeah. Dang, that thing looks like a hearse.
Oh, it's midnight. That's why.
See, these are actually these are a little different from there's
Yeah, the
that's one.
80s?
Yeah, so they have damn it, man, it's hard to find this car. Because they had a convertible too.
Really?
Yeah.
They did not. No. No way.
At least in 1980. Where is this?
Okay, I can see the 80s, but I think
80,
90s,
the 80,
right? Wasn't
80
that your car?
No, it was a 80. It was an 85 Cougar. So 1984, they had a convertible Cougar.
No way.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
There it is. The LS. That's because it was
the luxury sport.
yeah. Because it was a
Dude,
had
the
a V-
seats were on another level back then.
yeah. It had
These
a
were all like you're like on a couch.
dude. Yeah, that was like one of the most comfortable cars to sit in like ever.
Had huge seats. It was made for big Americans. It was like plush velour. It was like
This is yeah. So this is probably like the most common one you'd find, but it's not exactly the one that I had.
Yours had a red pinstripe or something.
Yeah, this one's pretty close to it, but it's still not exactly it. Here. There we go. That's pretty close. That one's got a sunroof and everything.
Yeah, so you had better wheels, but
yeah.
That's it.
But yeah, man, that thing was so comfortable. Like you could lounge in that thing. And,
how did you get that? Like,
my brother had it before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did he get it?
Probably just bought it. Used. I don't remember.
So he bought it, and then did he like just give it to you and like, here, you're driving, you can take this?
Yeah, because I think he got a different car, so my dad kept this one for me to drive.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and man, because I had a V8 in it, the digital speedometer, which back then that was a big fucking deal. Like, fucking.
I know my mom. I remember when.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, "What the hell?" Like,
she got a Lincoln Town car.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that.
The white Lincoln.
I think that was.
I took it to prom.
Yeah, I think. Was that she got that before I got my car, right?
I don't remember. I don't
Because I
know
want to
what
say
year it was. I just know
that was the
what.
first digital speedometer I saw.
Yeah, I mean they had them in cars before that too. I
Yeah,
think in the early
like
'80s,
yeah, the
like
Cadillacs
the
and
Cutlass, like the
yeah,
Cutlass.
Supreme.
No, it wasn't that. It was like the Oldsmobile.
Oh,
There was
back
another
when they were like
car
expensive cars. Like,
that was like really. It was when they were making various efforts to like technology, technify uh, their cars, but they would put like a small like computer in.
yeah.
It was like the precursor to what's now your vehicle information
Hmm.
system. Like it checks your oil, it tells you your tire pressure, and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that could have been on the onboard computer back in the '80s,
Yeah. Yeah.
But you could have. There was like touch screens, like really early touch screens, and really bad navigation back then too.
Oh yeah, dude.
And
That
then the
like if you
navigation
navigation
was
in the car was just it's still not very good, but it was god awful back then because
it
it
was
never got updated. That's why. So,
well, yeah,
um,
but it too would go by time. I think it'd be
oh
like
yeah, that's
turn
true.
left,
Yeah, yeah,
and if you got stuck in traffic, I don't know if you paused it or
yeah.
what, but like it could give you turn by turn directions
But
as best it knew.
but even back then, it was like we were either using MapQuest at the most, but I still use a basically an atlas or like I would already map out my route like just on a piece of
You
paper.
still use MapQuest, don't you? That's
I-
the best.
yeah, it's the best.
MapQuest never fails.
MapQuest is the best.
Dude, imagine MapQuest like their market share probably tanked.
Oh
Like it
Jesus
just went up.
Christ! Yeah.
Like
Well,
fuck.
now it's like I don't use anything but Google.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
whatever that's called. Jesus
Yeah, I
Christ.
use Google or Apple Maps,
Yeah.
whichever. Because sometimes when you
Well,
talk to Siri, it'll
yeah.
pull up Apple Maps
Well,
automatically.
I like how Apple Maps looks better. Like
Yeah.
it's more functional as a GPS as far as like the look. But Google just has more information. That's the problem. It's but for like navigation, like just like general navigation, I think Apple Maps is easier to read on the go. It just gives you bare minimum what you need.
Isn't Apple Maps um, by TomTom?
Yeah, that makes sense because TomTom had a really easy interface too.
Yeah,
Um,
years ago, like you
yeah,
could get a TomTom or
yeah,
you could get something else.
yeah, and like
And
it's
then TomTom just disappeared. Like, where did
yeah,
it go?
yeah, yeah. Well, it's kind of it's just I think for when you're driving, the less information the better. So that's why like I prefer Apple Maps, but it's not accurate. So um, in hiking too, like I think it's just easier to see like here's the trail I'm on, and nothing else. Like don't see any of all the extra shit. But
Google Maps seems to do okay
yeah,
for us here, but
it's just really detailed. So it's really great in a city. I think like if you're walking, because you can basically I use it like where do I need to go, and then I just count the blocks and like the turns, and then if it's a long trip, then maybe I'll look at it again. But typically I just look at it one time and then that's it. So
we need some glasses that project the
yeah,
directions on so we can put them on and then
yeah,
say, oh, turn right. And then you
yeah.
go down and you walk and you see the building
Yeah. Well, yeah,
and it highlights it for you.
but then I'm not going to remember my shit. So like, I'm going to kill my brain cells doing that. It's like
True.
the phone number thing we were talking about. So that's why I like I like looking at using Google Maps. Like when I'm driving, I just let it guide me because it's just easier. But if I'm walking, I count the blocks and turns, and then I do that in my head as I'm walking.
Yep.
Kind of like when you have the little steps, the anal bead counters,
Um,
the step counter, the beads.
uh,
Yeah. Anyway.
anal beads. No, I know you're talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the ranger beads.
Yeah. Those.
Yeah.
So it kind of, you're just doing it in your head, with blocks and because one block isn't always the same length. So, but yeah, so I like navigating that way. It makes me feel like a man.
Yeah, you got to do something manually.
Yeah. Yeah, manually. Yeah. Yeah.
Manually. Like you wouldn't want to outsource your gherkin, would you?
Yeah. Slow Gherkin.
You got to do that manually.
Remember that band Slow Gherkin?
Yeah,
That
we were talking about
ska
that.
band, yeah.
Slow gherkin.
They're pretty
Are they
good.
still around?
Probably not, but
Can
yeah.
you? Are they on Spotify?
Probably, man, because I remember like because
Really?
they came to the Gator Pub and like I got their little cassette back in the day.
So the Gator Pub served alcohol, right?
Yep.
I've been to like in that place like I think literally like 3 times max. Because of course I was never allowed to go, right?
Yeah.
So, but I was able to go a few times with you guys, and um, yeah, we were underage and we were not supposed to drink.
Well, we
But I don't think
definitely
they served us.
we
We just
absolutely
ended up
did not do
drinking.
any drinking.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
it
no,
didn't serve us
sir.
alcohol.
Not
There
at
was like
all.
a Chinese couple that owned it,
Yeah, yeah. So it was
right? Was it Mr. Wong?
it was kind of like a half. Well, that's kind of racist. No, I'm joking. I think that was his name. I think that was his name.
It probably was.
Looks like Slow Gherkin was active until 2002.
Dang.
And they were on Asian Man Records
To
at the time.
Mr. Wong. Bankrolled them.
Yeah, let's
Asian
see.
man.
But yeah, they actually went for a pretty long time. So they're from California, formed in '93. Yeah, that makes sense because that's about the time.
Really?
So they were like
came to Leesburg.
they were brand new when we saw them. Yeah.
Really?
Holy
now,
shit!
How were they from California in Leesburg? It's like,
I mean, you know,
how do you find that spot?
just
I mean, that's a pretty good find because that was like the local punk hotspot.
Well, Stefan and I were talking about this the other day, and you know, he just remembers like the bands that would come like from out of town, and they'd be like, "Y'all don't know how good you have it. This place is awesome." And like, you know, and he's like, "Yeah, we didn't know how good we had it. Like we were just kids, you know, taking advantage of the situation, which was a great situation. We just didn't know
it was happened to be in your town.
Yeah, we just didn't know how good that actually was because I mean, clearly, you know, people were coming from California.
That's crazy.
There were a couple of like pretty decent bands that went through there. But that was one there in particular just because I remember that Slow Gherkin was funny to me.
Yeah.
And they were a good ska band too, so it wasn't like just because of the name. But yeah, I still have that cassette somewhere. I've got one of those cassette racks at my mom's house.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck playing that.
Yeah, no, man, because that's like
I kind of want to get into like records and stuff, but
yeah,
that's
but
an expensive hobby. You get good speakers.
Well,
a good record.
Well, the
player,
main thing is a good
like,
record player is what you need to start with.
Yeah, but
that's the hard one.
Old ones, people are like really the people that are into it. They know the good record players and the good amps, and those are not cheap now.
Yeah. Well, I've got
you'll spend $1,000 on a setup.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you buy anything new, of course, you're gonna spend. Some of them are $30,000-$40,000 for.
Well, I've got these. I've got these. So all I would need to get is is the actual record player. So I've got these monitor speakers that I use for when I was doing recording music and stuff. And well, and unless you know who took them, I'm not sure. I didn't see them when I went to my mom's house last time. So I hope they're still there. I'm not. I think they're probably still there, but I just didn't see them. But they might have been in the storage unit, and I don't know what happened in there. So, but anyway, if those are there, then all I need would be the record player, because those things are awesome. So basically, they have lights on them, because they're made for like your editing essentially. So they have these little lights that are, you angle them, and when you see the lights at the brightest, like lighting, that's when you know it's perfectly angled for you. So basically, you sit in the center, and then you angle these, and when the lights are bright, that's where you need the speaker to be. But yeah, those things sounded fucking amazing.
What was the brand?
I think they were M Audio. So there's it's basically just recording company. And
Yeah.
they typically make they make everything, but the main thing that was at the time was like the keyboards. Because having a digital keyboard to plug in your computer, you usually had to have like a separate interface to do it, and then M Audio was making like direct connects, and it was just a lot easier. But yeah, but shit, it's been like 3.5 hours, bro.
Time flies.
Yeah, I know, right?
I talked about Andor for 10 minutes.
I know, right? The whole fucking purpose. That's fine. You still got a lot to watch, and then we'll talk. We'll have a whole episode's worth. But yeah, I know you're trying to get to bed like an hour and a half ago. So
Yeah, I'm trying. I gotta try and get in early tomorrow.
Yeah.
The earlier I get in, the earlier I can leave. So
yeah.
helps.
Yeah.
One of those things. Plus, I don't know. It's supposed to rain this tomorrow. It's supposed to rain this weekend.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, I'm gonna try to get out early myself tomorrow, but we'll see. I gotta go to Chicago next week.
Windy City.
Yep.
But how far away is that? Chicago from me.
And
eventually you're gonna be out this way. So if you're ever in DC, I'll drive over.
Yeah, maybe
That's close enough for me.
Yeah, maybe
Chicago's a little far. I think it's like 8 hours.
Philadelphia might be the closest,
Yeah, I don't know.
but that's pretty far too.
So you're going to
Because I'll be going to Philly, New York.
holy shit, dude, that's a long way.
And yeah, and then
Oh yeah, that's 8 hours drive to Chicago.
oh dang, yeah, it's a long time.
Too far.
Yeah.
Yep. But maybe Philadelphia, definitely. I mean, DC.
Yeah.
Anything within a couple hours, I'm down.
Sweet. All right, I'll let you know.
All
right, well,
have a good night.
Yeah. Well, let's end the podcast, and then we can say good nights as well. All right.
Some sweet dreams.
Yeah. So, all right. As always, don't let your meat loaf.
Mailman podcast coming to you. Emily man coming to you. Talking about Minister Phony If you don't like it, you can go to hell. Mailman podcast coming to you. Emily man coming to you. Ooh.